mile away from the border. Do you want to talk about the border now? Because I live a mile away
Sure.
from it. All
Okay.
right, ask me a question. What do you want to know about the border?
Yeah, I'll ask you the question. Why do we
What do
need a
you want to
wall?
know? I just answered that, but you were too busy talking.
I wasn't talking and you didn't answer that.
You were talking, and now you were too busy talking and you didn't hear what I said.
And what was the reason? Sorry, my bad.
The reason was it's because I told you that we need to vet people legally when they come over here. When there's no
And
wall
we
and
can
there's
do that
no
without a
vetting, the
wall.
people are coming.
Wait, I have a question. Did we ever do that in American history? Did
We
we ever
can
vet people?
definitely, you know what? We definitely did, and we definitely slowed
We
them
definitely
down when
did.
we
Did
have
we
a
have a wall
process.
then?
Do you know what happened after?
When
Do
we
you want to know
vetted
what?
people coming into the
Hey,
country, did we have a
hey,
wall?
do you want to hear? Yes, we did. We did
We
have
did? When
somewhat
did we
of a
have this
wall.
wall?
It wasn't as good because guess what they did?
When did
They
we have
put
this
a
wall?
ladder. They put a ladder on it so that people could. I seen the wall. I've been to the wall. Do you want to know about the wall or not?
Yeah, how much of the wall was built?
There was a lot of places built, but there was also a lot of
How much? What
gaps.
percent of the
A
wall?
lot of gaps were
What percent
not.
of the wall is built?
There was probably about 75 to 80% of the wall that was
You
built,
want to
but it was a
bet? You want to
shabby. It was a
bet?
shabby. It
You want
was
to
a
bet?
shabby
How
wall,
much do you want to
and there were
bet?
ladders going over it.
How much do you want
And
to
there were
bet?
ladders
Yeah,
going
so the
over
wall
it.
wasn't effective, but yeah, how
It
much you want to
wasn't
bet? I
effective,
promise you
but
there was not
that's why Trump,
75
dude.
fucking percent.
You
It
are
was
not
less than
listening.
24%.
No, you're not listening. You're not
No,
listening to
where'd you
someone
get
who
the
has actually
75%
been
number
there.
from?
I have been
80%?
there because you're not
I don't
listening to
care.
what
That's
I'm
not
saying.
80%.
75 to 80% of
No,
the
it's not.
wall
Not even close. Not even close.
was there at one time, but it has
No,
been
no,
knocked
not at any
down.
time. Not at
Parts
any
have been
time was
knocked
70 to
down.
80% of the wall built.
They went and put a ladder over the wall so that people could
Over
actually
a portion of the wall.
walk over it. There were
There,
people
there
that were
was, yeah,
going
because the
through.
wall wasn't effective. Good
There
job.
was illegals that were going through washes. It wasn't effective. Why
They
do you
walked
think
right through
Trump
the
was
wall
having
because
it
the wall wasn't
redone?
good.
That's why Trump was having it redone, dude. You're not listening, and
So
you
Trump
never
built it
listen to
incorrectly.
anybody. You
Well,
know, no,
Trump is really bad at infrastructure.
Trump didn't build the original wall. You ding dong. He didn't build the original one. I'm talking about the original one. I'm talking about the one that Trump did. He
That's
was
not a
redoing
wall,
it.
D.
He
D,
was
that's not a wall.
redoing it. It is a
D.
wall.
D, it's a
But
fence.
the a fence that they had before, a wall,
A
whatever, they
fence
had
is
a
not a
fence
wall.
there. The
A
fence
fence
that
and a
was there
wall are two
before
separate
was
things.
not good, and that's why it was being redone. You can place
And
a
the fence
fence
isn't
if
even
you want
everywhere. You know
to,
that, right?
but that's all you do. It isn't everywhere. There's a lot of washes and a lot of stuff that the fences didn't go through because at that time it was against policy. There was even places where they didn't want fences going through to protect the
Can I ask
wildlife.
you a
There's a lot
question?
of reasons.
Sure. But can I ask you a question?
And
Can you
I've
give?
been to
Can you?
Mexico, and
Yeah.
I
Can I
lived
ask you a
on the
question?
border, and you are not going to tell me the effects that illegal
D.
immigration
Oh
causes
my
on
gosh.
not on the illegal immigrants
Can you give me
themselves. Do you
one
like to?
source? Can
Do
you
you
give me
know? I
one
didn't like
source
to
that says
see
that? Can you give me?
illegal immigrants dying in my backyard. Illegal immigrants dying in my backyard.
Can you give me? Can you give me one source that indicates that 75 to 80% of the wall was ever built?
Dude, you are something else. I feel bad for people that come on here and try to explain shit to you because you're so
Yeah,
stubborn
because they get
and you're so
embarrassed. They get
no,
embarrassed every
I'm
single
not.
time they come
Okay,
on because
trust
you guys
me,
have
I am
fucking
not
nothing to
embarrassed.
explain.
Trust me, I am not
You
embarrassed
should
at
feel
all.
bad. You should feel bad
Why?
because they get
Why should I
embarrassed.
feel bad?
Because
I
they
feel
get
bad for
embarrassed.
you. No, because you can't even one time admit that there might be something that was fucked up that Biden did, and you know that.
Oh, there are plenty of things I think that are fucked up that
Well,
Biden has
the
done.
day that he did all those
But Donald Trump
executive
does more
orders, he
fucked
screwed
shit.
up. I agree that Trump has done some fucked up. You know what Trump's big
More fucked
problem
up
is?
shit.
He's a freaking womanizer and he's been a millionaire all his life and he doesn't know how to
Not
be
just
a
a
decent
womanizer, he's a sexual
and
abuser.
he didn't know how to be a
Do you think that Trump
a
sexually abused
regular
Eugene
I don't
Carroll?
think he never knew how to be a regular person with regular laws and regular
And do you think
rules.
that Trump sexually abused Eugene Carroll?
Do you know what sucks about Trump's position?
Did Trump
It's
sexually abuse Eugene Carroll?
he may have. I'm not denying that. Now,
No,
can
the
you
jury
listen?
determined that. So I have
Yeah,
a
I
question.
know.
If a jury determined that a particular babysitter sexually
Those are
abused
two questions.
someone, would you
Those
let
are
them
two
take care of
different.
your children?
Those are two different questions. You asked me if I believe that Trump did it. Now, did the jury believe? Yes, they did. Do I believe It's a possibility. And do you want to know why it could be a possibility? Do you know why?
Sure, let's hear.
The only reason I'm going to say it's a possibility is because I am a woman, and I know that women get really freaking stupid when it comes to millions of dollars of money. And I don't care who gets pissed at this, because you know what? Go to TikTok right now and you can look at my freaking DM box and you can see all these freaking men that are in there. And why are they in there? Because women want sugar daddies and they think they can find a sugar a girl.
Are you
to be a
victim
sugar
blaming?
daddy
You're
to.
victim blaming people.
No. So what
You're
is
quite
that
literally
when
victim
Trump-
blaming people.
When Trump has
By
had
the way,
millions his life,
what
Trump has
conditions?
had
What
millions
conditions?
all
Listen.
his life.
Hey,
All
can you
his
listen?
life,
Can you
he's
listen
had
for a second?
No, because you're not listening to me.
I
He's
did.
had
I listened to
millions.
you.
No, not with this. He's had millions all his life, and you don't think that women?
She's had millions. She's
don't
rich. She's been
not
rich.
at the time.
Yes,
Not
she
at the
was.
time.
She was rich. She's
Not
been a
like
millionaire.
Trump. Not like Trump.
I'm not saying
They
she's
hung-
rich like Trump,
they
but
hung-
obviously she's not going to get all of Trump's money. She
They
did
hung
not have
around
much
in
of a
the same-
financial influence,
They
or
hung around in the same.
she did not have
circles.
much of a financial incentive to do this. And if it was financial incentive, how come any
All
other
right,
woman
dude.
couldn't do it?
Then why is it that whenever someone goes up for office like Trump, all of a sudden everybody wants to come out of the woodwork? That makes me skeptical. Another thing is that
It's not
freaking
everyone. There's
lady,
been people coming
you
out for
don't
decades.
know. No, she has.
Yes,
not.
there have. Yes, there have.
She
Some of the
wasn't.
evidence was that there were multiple people that have been claimed to have been assaulted by Trump in a similar way that came in
Yeah.
and were particularly people that spoke at the trial.
And I've already told you that there's a probability that it could have happened, but there's also a probability
It's
that
very
that
likely.
There's a gray, there is a
Him being
gray
held legally
area
responsible
there.
means it's very likely.
There's a gray area there. But let me
What
tell
gray
you
area?
this. The gray area is there's a probability for both sides, dude.
But it's more likely than not that he did.
You don't know that.
We do
no
know
more
that
than I
based.
do.
That's what the jury
No,
indicated.
You don't. No, you don't.
We
The
do.
jury, no, you don't. The jury has their own opinion based off what they were allowed to see. And
Based
you
on
know
seeing
that,
more
and
things
I
than
know
you
that.
saw. The jury had more evidence than you did. The jury knows more about the
We
case
get
than
to
you do.
We get to see all that if we choose to see that. It's
And
there
you
for
know,
everybody to
Chelsea, thank
see.
you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Chelsea.
there.
Can we get a W, Chelsea, in the comment section right now?
It's
Thank
there
you
for
so much,
everybody to-
Chelsea. I really appreciate that. W, Chelsea.
Okay, it's there for everybody to see, and congratulations on your donations, dude. I respect what you do, but you also, I've listened to you many times, many times, and I hear you slamming people all the time, and you need to chill out, dude. People may not be able to talk as much about stuff or be knowledgeable about specifics, but they might have a valid point. And you can't just be beating everybody up like they're ignorant imbeciles when they get on the freaking phone with you.
Well, plenty of them are, and I do think that I need to call it out when it exists. But do I think that people
But not all
obviously
the
can have
time.
legitimate points? Thank you for listening, Mike. Yes, I do. This is the debate platform. Of course, I'm going to call people's opinions out. If you're telling me I shouldn't call people's opinions out, that gets
You
rid of the
should
whole
call
point
their
of a debate
opinions.
live.
You should call their opinions out.
That's
but
exactly what I'm doing.
I listened to one lady one time, and she started having good points and having some validity in what she was saying. And the next thing I know, you're trying to knock her down because she was Christian faith, her Christian faith, and that was wrong. I'm just going to say that.
Me saying that some of her beliefs are contradictory comparative to like what she believes with Christianity
No,
is
it
not
wasn't that.
is not
It wasn't
rude.
that. It was that she just had some valid points about why she was choosing to vote for Trump.
Please
and then
fucking
you
get a
started
grip.
talking to,
How
you started
biased as an
talking
individual
about it
are
being-
you? How biased as an
started
individual are you,
talking
Liz?
about
Thank you for
it
the
being a
subscription.
Christian- you start-
How biased as an individual are you? I wouldn't just say, because someone's making good points, I'm going to start fucking yelling at them. I'm going to start insulting them because they're making good points. Why the fuck would I do that? If someone's making a good point, I'm going to listen to them. I listen to people all the time. If you make a good point, I will take into account, I likely will fucking believe it because you made a good point. Plenty of the people that I've met in my life, Plenty of the people that I know now that are my friends, they originally came up on my lives and brought up things they might disagree with. And throughout the context of having conversation, right, I've conceded on points, they've conceded on points. That happens with every single person. My views and beliefs have changed over time. I used to be a Trump supporter. I grew up in a Christian conservative household. Obviously, I have changed my beliefs based upon the new evidence that I've seen. And the same thing's true for plenty of other people. I don't know why you can't acknowledge that if I hear a good argument, I accept it. I've changed my position online plenty of times. Give resources, give reason to believe what you're saying. If you don't give me resources, you don't give me reason to believe what you're saying. If you don't give any good point or basis for your point, how the hell do you expect me to believe it? You can unmute. Click the microphone in the bottom right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. That was just my perception at the time. But I have one more question for you, or I can just give it as a statement. It's up to you. Do you mind answering a question?
Go for it.
All right. So we know how Trump has his money because his dad was a wealthy real estate man and he inherited it. And then he grew from there. And we know that. But you know how much money Biden has and the multiple homes and all this stuff. And you know that Biden did not make that money off working in government in any of his positions.
He made it off his books.
You know, he made all of that money off his books. And you don't feel like any of the information that's speculated out there right now, because obviously they're still investigating much of it. The speculation out there is that him and his family, and Hunter included.
So you believe the speculation, but you don't believe when it goes through a jury?
No, I'm just paying attention, and I was just wondering how you felt. I'm paying attention.
I don't accept it until there's good evidence to accept it. I don't see good enough evidence to accept it now, but if there was good enough evidence, I would accept it.
Okay, because I'm just curious, because I'm watching now. I'm watching to see what happens, and I don't know if anything will happen before the presidency comes up or not, but it's just see what happens type of thing. But it's just questionable,
Okay. All right. Is there
and
anything
so
else
that's it. That's just basically what I wanted to say and wanted to kind of.
Do you believe the election was stolen in 2020?
No, I'm not. I don't think it was.
You don't. So why are you voting for someone that's been undermining our American democracy for the past few years?
Because I think that there's a lot of factors that are involved, and I don't think that Trump did anything by himself. I think that there might have been a lot of other stuff going on, and it's been all over the place, and it's really hard to it really is hard to know and hard to follow, because depending on which side of the media you watch, you get a different story, and we all know that. And so, in fact, sometimes even with the stuff that the Supreme Court has ruled on, stuff comes out later and then it's going back to court, or they're coming back with different information. So exactly. It's like dancing back and forth. So
no, I said thank you to a dancing. Appreciate that message. Thank you.
They're all doing that too with Dominion and everything else, So
what are you talking about with Dominion?
Well, with Dominion, at first they said they did have something to do with it. Then they said they didn't have anything to do with it, and they were clear.
No, you just listen to Fox News, which
and now
quite literally Trump just told you not to listen to.
I don't listen to just Fox News. I've heard Fox News, but I also listen to other stuff.
Like what?
I listen to CNN. I listen to MSNBC. I listen to Fox. I listen to Newsbreak. I listen to.
Where do you listen to it? What channel is CNN on?
I don't know, because I have it all on my Fire Stick.
And you go to CNN on the Fire Stick? You actually watch it?
I watch a lot of stuff.
You watch Newsmax?
Yes, Newsmax. I watch Newsmax.
Newsmax and OAN.
I watch Haystack. I watch OAN. I watch YouTube.
Of course you do.
Like if I miss anything like I feel like is relevant, I'll even go to YouTube and I'll pull up stuff like
True
directly
Social.
from YouTube.
You go to Alex Jones.
I don't have True Social or any of that.
Surprising.
No. I had it a long time ago when it first came out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think I was on it twice, and then that was
Mm-hmm.
it. I never went back on
Good.
because I just checked it out, and that was all. No, but I go to a lot of different places because I don't believe the media anymore. The media is all
Yeah,
over
but
the
you
place,
believe
and
Trump's media?
I don't go
You
to
believe
Trump's
OAN?
media.
OAN's media.
I don't watch OAN all the time. Like I said, I watch different things. I go to various things. Like if I see something on OAN and they're saying a certain way, then I'll go to a different one. I'll go over to CNN on purpose to see how much is different and how much is the same. And then
Yeah,
I try
so
to make my mind from getting different information, and whatever comes out consistent, the most consistent is what I try to go by.
like the jury conviction. Do you accept the jury
The
conviction of Hunter Biden?
I accept the jury conviction of all of them, even for Trump. Trump got
So if you
convicted
accept
by
the
the
jury
jury.
conviction for Trump, then you think he's a proven sexual abuser, proven fraudster, election denier.
Yeah,
He
I
has
do
34
believe.
felonies, and you're still going to vote for him?
Yeah, I do believe that the jury convicted him of sexual abuse, and I do
And you
believe
want to vote for
that
him
he
still?
has 34 felonies. I do want to vote for him. Do you? And I've told
Why?
you why already.
No,
I
not
already
for
told
those
you
particular
why.
things. You didn't accept it before.
I did accept, but I told you that that was the jury had their perspective and I had mine. And the reason why I didn't want to, or the reason I was going to vote for Trump was because the 34 convictions, for one, because they're two different things. The 34 convictions, I felt like everything was pretty straight and pretty straight and narrow until the judge got really weird and gave the jury, and I heard this on many different news media, that he gave the jury specific instructions
I
that
knew
he
she was going to
wouldn't
say
have
that.
given any other
No.
jury members about, well, that,
Talking point.
come on,
That's just a
but
talking point.
it's not a talking point. That
It
is
is. It
that
is.
is
It's not how
strange.
happened. Not happened.
That is strange that he gave all the jurors, like, you don't all have to agree. Each one of you can think that he's guilty on a separate issue, a separate um, charge, and he can be guilty. It doesn't have to be unanimous. That's not the way that they would
It was
normally do.
unanimous.
I've
It was
been on jury
unanimous. It was beyond a reasonable doubt.
on all different. It wasn't.
Go ahead, Amber.
Yeah. Well, first on that, she's confused about the
I'm not confused. Who are you?
the jury had to be unanimous on the felony counts that he was convicted of. What they did not have to be unanimous on was what they believed might be the underlying crime. That
Right. And what is the crime? Does anyone even know what what the felony is? What is it?
falsifying.
You know?
business. You
What
didn't
is
know
it?
Falsifying business records.
No, but there's 34 charges. What are they?
each one
Falsifying business records.
an individual count of falsifying business records.
But specifically what? You just can't have falsifying business records. You have to have a specific, what did he do?
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I've been on juries before. You don't know what I do or who I am. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
vice versa.
Does it sound like I don't have a degree?
I don't know. I didn't ask about that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know me. You don't know who I am, and you don't know what I have.
You don't know me either.
But you
I don't know
sound
what this
kind of
has to do
fucking
with
dumb.
anything.
No, I'm not fucking dumb, but you are. Because you should shut up. Because the more you talk like that, the more dumb you get. And the more people hear you be dumb.
She's getting emotional.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not getting emotional. You guys are the ones that started the name calling. I said you don't know who I am
called
and you don't
somebody
know
a
that
name?
I have a degree. He called me dumb.
Yeah, I did.
Isn't that a name?
I did. Absolutely.
And that's what I told him the other day. I said, when you get upset, you start to bully people and you start to pick on them. And he's like, no, I don't.
I'm not upset right now. I'm just describing reality.
So,
Well, no, it's not reality. What reality do you live in? I'm not sure anymore.
Reality.
You understand that?
No, you don't.
Do you understand that falsifying business?
Yeah, falsifying business records is a general term because there's misdemeanors and there's felonies.
Right, and these
So
were
he can
felonies.
either have a misdemeanor or a felony. And so
Right.
in order to determine whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, you want to know exactly what kind of falsification of business records he did to determine that it was a felony. Do
Well,
you
Eden,
want to proceed?
didn't you read the details of why it was
No,
considered?
because
Why not?
whatever they listed was a misdemeanor. It wasn't felony. They never listed felony, a specific felony.
So you didn't read the indictment then?
I read and listened to the indictments. I listened to some podcasts. I did a lot of things, but I'm just telling
Okay.
you, right? Did you? Why can you not
Of,
answer
of,
me?
of course I did.
Okay,
I read
well,
the
you're not
indictment. That's how I
answering.
know what the charges were.
Okay, you just said that they were falsifying business records. Okay, but
Correct.
you have to determine what that's a misdemeanor, by the way.
No, these were
So
That was a
felonies.
class C felony.
So what made it a felony?
Falsifying business records in the first
No, but
degree,
there's no.
and the fact that
That's
he's
so
literally
funny.
running for president. He was trying to get
Falsifying
this
what?
to not
Falsifying
come out
what?
about the election.
But
Business
falsifying
records.
what, you guys?
Business records.
What business records? How did he falsify
Oh
it?
my God.
You would know this if
How?
you read the indictment.
No, you guys would know this if you read the indictment and
Well,
if
why
you had
can't you
an
tell
answer
us
for
then?
me.
Tell us.
You don't have because you don't have an answer. I'm not going to tell you, just like you're not going to tell me, because I know exactly what happened, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Then why are you
Is that they
confused if
didn't
you know
even?
exactly what happened?
I'm not
Wait, D, how
confused.
many jurors
You're
were there?
saying that I'm confused.
D,
12.
how many jurors
You're
were there in this case?
12.
Okay. Well, then tell us if you know.
You tell me. I'm trying to figure out if you guys know how they decided what Trump was guilty of was from a misdemeanor to a felony, because there's very specific information for a misdemeanor.
Can you give me any
Before-
source that indicates that it's a misdemeanor?
Yeah, actually, everything that they were talking about was a misdemeanor. And then when it came
No, can you
about
give me
to do
any
the
source that
charges,
indicates it was a misdemeanor? You just keep making the claim.
Let me just grab the indictment. I'll be right back.
that was everything. That was everything that was talked about then and there before the jury actually
Can you give
went
me
to
any
go.
source that indicates it was a misdemeanor?
Other than what I listened to? Do I have the indictment in front of me? No. That's why she had to go get
Yeah, the indictment
herself.
doesn't say misdemeanor.
That's why she
It
had
doesn't
to
say
go-
that it's a
well,
misdemeanor.
No, the indictment doesn't, because that was after the fact. I'm talking about prior.
Where does it
But
say it's a
just-
misdemeanor?
The charges that they were talking about
Yeah,
in
where?
in the initial
Kingdom, you might be the smartest Trump supporter I've ever engaged with.
Listen, I'm occupied, all right? I've been listening for hours, all right? And,
There must be something fucking amazing going on right now because damn, fuck, this is not going well. You better be doing 3 separate things.
it's not, no, all right? I'm driving.
Kingdom, you said you were going to come in
Oh,
here
you
and
can't
cook, and
drive
that
on
nobody
TikTok.
before you knew what they were talking about.
They didn't. They didn't. It was actually quite bad.
And you know what you're talking about?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just having a little bit of brain fog right now. You know, it happens, you know, here and there. I have ADHD. It is what it is. And also, you know, I'm, you know, driving on dirt, muddy roads, you know, and it's...
You're driving? Ah, bro, you got to go. All right.
Can you
You
see
can't
I'm
drive and go
driving?
on TikTok Live,
Can you see?
unfortunately.
Can you
Sorry.
see I'm driving? Can you see
No,
I'm
we,
driving?
we
Go.
can't see, genius.
Okay, exactly. There you go. So there's no proof.
All right, no, Kingdom,
Maybe
I'm
I'm
sorry.
lying.
If you want to pull
We
over,
can hear it.
do
You just
but
told us, dude.
You just
This is
told
like
us.
Trump.
What's
This is
that?
like Trump. He's like, move the documents outside of the camera's view so that you can't see them. But I also did not willfully retain the documents. You literally have me on audio recording admitting to it.
Oh my
But I
God.
didn't do it. I did not do it.
But he
I
did
promise.
do it, but he did.
Come on.
Oh my god, dude, this whole my box, the box is just full.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, you MAGA?
Yeah,
All right, how old are you?
21.
And why are you
All right,
MAGA?
why you MAGA?
Well, I just have one question. I just wanted to bring up the Cato article you brought up before.
Yeah.
So, can you bring that back up by chance? So, you were talking about the percentages before, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on the raw numbers.
Yeah. You're looking for the graph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Here are they.
So it shows that under Trump, only 1.3 million came in, and then under Biden was 5
It's
million.
encounters. It's not people coming in. It's encounters.
Okay, so what does that mean? Maybe I'm just
It means like it means what it sounds like. It means like you encountered them, you spotted them, you had an interaction with them of some kind.
so does that mean they're in America?
No. It just means that you encountered them. Doesn't mean that they came in or didn't come in. It just means they're encountered.
Yeah, my girlfriend was just encountered at the southern border, and she's a United States citizen because she went to Mexico.
So what is the percentages based off of that?
It's based on like what percentage of those people were removed.
From America.
Yeah, what percentage were of the encounters were not let in and were removed into Mexico.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that they were in here and they were deported.
Correct. So you see that number, it was like 5 million encounters. It does not mean that 5 million people came into the country.
Okay, appreciate you. That's all I wanted to ask. All right,
All right, man.
go on.
Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. Ugh. All right. If you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. We'll bring you up.
Good
Eduardo
live
Ramirez
so
says
far,
something.
huh?
was that?
Interesting. Interesting live so far, huh?
It's been something.
Oh, did you see the group chat? Did you see the beginning of the rally video?
Oh, I did, dude. It looks so. Is that going on YouTube or where?
Yeah, we're gonna be posting on YouTube and TikTok and stuff.
Amazing, dude. I can't wait to watch it. It looks so cool.
It's actually in the group chat. You can watch it.
Yeah. What's up,
So far.
Eduardo? You here?
Oh, hey, yeah. I appreciate you for accepting my request. I almost thought for a second that it was just it was just I don't know, bots or people that you had from behind the scenes. But thanks for accepting my request. I really just want to say, so Biden, Trump, you were saying that, stuff about children, that he likes kids and stuff. Now tell me this, Biden sniffs children. He sniffs
I can
people.
show you a video right now of Trump kissing and touching little kids. You
No,
wanna
I
see
didn't
it?
deny that. Yeah, he's
Yo,
a
Yeah, he
motherfucker.
kisses and
too.
touches little
appreciate
kids, and
you.
you're okay with it?
No, I'm not okay with it.
Okay, so
I
then
think
why
that
are
you're
you
saying
calling it out with Biden but not calling it out with Trump when we see it's kissing and touching?
that. No, it's just the narrative says Biden is much better than Trump, and prove me wrong. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Also, you know something crazy? Trump said that he would date his daughter if it wasn't his daughter. He said something in common with his daughter was sex when she said real sitting golf.
Oh, yeah, he
said
said
would
that
date a
shit,
10-year-old girl in 10 years. He also said it was okay for him to walk into changing rooms of girls as young as 15 years old because he quote unquote owned the place.
I didn't deny any of that, but Trump sniffs people. He sniffs women. He sniffs children, and you can't deny it.
Trump
either.
does that. Yep.
No, I mean Biden does that too, man.
A little bit of a
Come on,
Freudian
come on.
slip there, buddy.
Come on. The Biden sniffs people. You can look it up on Google. All right. So besides that, Biden has dementia and Alzheimer's or something going on
Can you
with
give
his
me
head.
what are the qualifications necessary to identify that an individual has dementia?
I'm not a psychiatrist or nothing, right? I mean, or any of that.
You're not a
wouldn't even be a
psychologist. Obviously,
okay.
you're not going to understand that. So
But
why
look-
would you just make a claim then?
Just look up on YouTube, Joe Biden dementia compilation.
Hey, Eduardo, could you answer his question, please?
Oh, I'm
you don't
sorry.
need, like, a YouTube
I was
video.
rambling. Continue. What was the question?
Go
Would
ahead,
you
bro.
ever mistake an ex-wife you had, like with another person?
No.
No. Okay. Well, do you think that if you did, you would probably have some mental issues?
Probably.
Yeah. So Trump mistook E. Jean Carroll, the person who's proven to have sexually abused with his ex-wife. So he's damn well gotta have some mental issues.
According to
All
you?
right, I give you that. But look up. Well, hey, I'm being a good sport about this. But look. Go on YouTube. Look up Joe Biden dementia compilation. You'll see thousands of videos.
I can make a Trump dementia compilation if you want.
Bro, just you
And
can't
also,
say.
that's not demonstrative of dementia. I guarantee if I had a camera on you 24/7, you'd sound a lot dumber than Joe Biden
Look,
does
all
in
right,
any
all right,
circumstance.
whatever. Maybe it's not dementia, but there's something not right with his head, bro. Come on. Look up
There's
the
something
corn.
not right with
nothing-
your head.
Look up the
There's
corn
nothing
pop
wrong.
speech, bro. Look up the corn pop speech.
Wait,
How
Eduardo,
can a
his
normal person-
doctors have evaluated him. He's a physical every single year. Every single year, his doctors have said that he's perfectly fit to serve. And in his most recent physical, there were neurologists who conducted exams and said that he passed perfectly fine.
I mean, how can we trust those people, though?
They're doctors. You think they're?
No, I mean,
Do you
well,
think
no,
they're putting
it's-
their medical? Do you think they're putting their medical license on the line to lie?
well, no,
For-
but
for
people
Joe
can
Biden?
be paid for it, but under what's
Is there?
called.
Do you have any evidence that they're paid for?
Well, no, I don't. But you don't
Okay.
do you trust the government when they tell you what the
These aren't
government tells
government-
you?
This is not
Do you
the
deny
government.
everything from the government?
Well, yeah, almost, but
You do?
Bob,
You
this
do? You
isn't
deny
about me, this
everything?
is
Well, then
about
I'll ask you
Biden.
this question. How do you get the numbers of how many immigrants are coming to the country?
I didn't mention anything. Oh, well, I
You
was
did
gonna get to
earlier.
that.
We talked about how many immigrants are coming to the country. Where'd you get those numbers from?
I didn't. I didn't spew any numbers. Some other guests you had said something or other about that. But
So
actually, now
you don't believe that there are more immigrants coming to the country now?
there's an issue, and I actually have personal experience with this. I
So
live
you
in a
don't believe
border
that there are
town.
more people coming to the country right now?
Bro, I can honestly say it's from my own experience. I live
So
in a
it's
border
not from
town.
the evidence.
Huh?
So
Well,
from
hold on,
my
let me
own
finish-
experience,
let me
I've
finish
seen
speaking
less
real quick,
people
bro.
coming to the country than
This
coming to
is
the
another
country.
reason I want to vote Trump for actual personal, personal reasons. I live in a
Thank you for
border
the dollar.
town.
And Brent, thank you for the $5.
I live in a border town, bro. We have so many of these foreigners coming in. Not even Mexicans. People from Honduras. People from India. People from what's that other fucking Asian country? No, Venezuela.
Other Asian
Latin
country
American, sorry.
you were mentioning. Okay.
No,
Were you going to
so
say
many of these
Venezuela
people, bro.
in Asia?
Wait,
No, no,
Eduardo.
no, 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 I
Eduardo,
said
how
Latin
many
American,
continents are there?
Huh?
How many continents are there?
7.
What are they?
It's Oceania, North America, South America, Asia, England. I always forget the other ones. Sorry about that. But
Asia, England, you know? I
I
definitely
didn't
know
say- God damn it,
England's a
sorry.
continent for sure.
no,
Yeah,
it's hey, bro. It's 12 a.m. where I live right now. Right, just
yeah that's definitely what's wrong here.
Europe, right? Europe. Hey, hold on. But anyways, all these foreigners, bro, they're coming into my little border town, bro. It fucking blows, bro. When these motherfuckers broke into my goddamn car the other day, but
I
at
know
least
he's an undocumented migrant.
huh?
Undocumented migrants are less likely to commit crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens, whether it be property crime, violent crime,
Bro,
or
one of these
drug
people
crime.
killed a person from my town, bro.
They're
One of these
less likely to do that than another person that was already living.
I
in the
killed a
town.
person in my town, bro, and the media's
Yeah,
not even
and
speaking
that,
on
that
it.
was less likely to happen
this-
than someone
dude,
else
you're-
who's already living in your town.
The media's
You're,
not
like,
even
off your
speaking on it,
rocker
bro.
right now, dude.
No, but
Rocker.
no, but like,
Yo,
tell me this.
1 second. Ifioma, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, by the way, saying love your lives. I appreciate you. Please ask Parker why he says Biden is not a good person. Parker, why is Biden not a good person, do you think?
Okay, so I mean, I
No
would
way,
definitely-
Parker.
Yeah.
Wait, so yeah, I actually do believe this. Yes, so I believe that
Don't
Joe
believe
Biden.
Biden's a good person?
I believe both Biden and Trump are bad people, but I believe that Trump is a worse person than Biden. And I can give you plenty of reasons. I do think that what he's doing as it relates to supporting offensive weapons to Israel is a really bad thing. I could mention things that he's done in the past. Do I think that he has better character than Trump in acknowledging his behavior and going against that? Absolutely. But do I think that he's bad for these things? Yeah. I mean, I would say the same thing for people like Obama, for people like Bush. I can
okay.
point to
All right.
characteristics they have that I would say that are bad. Like I would consider Obama a war criminal, right? He's killed innocent people in the Middle East. I mean, it's a fact. It's right. He's literally bombed people in the Middle East, killed innocent people. Same thing with Trump. Same thing with Biden. So obviously, I'm going to point to characteristics of every U.S. president and be like, these things are bad. Right? I think these are bad things. Do I think there are
But are you
great
implying, like-
characteristics of Joe Biden as a person? Yeah, I think he has good
I mean,
characteristics.
we can both agree every president.
I
has
do think that there's
people,
bad
it's
things as
something
well.
like that.
But don't you think that the morality for a president is different than like you and me?
What do you mean?
Like, don't you think that the presidents should be held to different standards of morality than like you and me? Like presidents, when it comes to like drone strikes, for example, like they have to make like incredibly difficult decisions sometimes, and they could have unintended repercussions. Like there was like a bombing that Biden did when he was given intelligence that it was one thing, it was not the other, and unfortunately innocent people died. That is not something that you and I have the opportunity to make a decision of. So don't you think there's like a separate standard of like, is this president a good person versus are they not?
So I mean, could say that there's like other types of factors that would be involved. Like obviously they're making a decision that is obviously significantly more stressful than I would have to do so like in a typical sense. So obviously like if I was president, like it would be putting me in different conditions for whether or not something would be moral, but ultimately they are held to the same standard. If I was put in that same condition, I would also, apply responsibility for collateral damage for myself as well. Right. I mean, I don't think it's just like, this is a little bit of collateral damage. I mean, we can point to like tens of thousands of people that have died in other countries, due to innocent conditions, right? They're innocent people. They've died in other countries. And I don't think that we'd be okay with that same level of collateral if they were U.S. citizens.
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously if they're U.S. citizens, that's different. But I also think like if you're the American president, that obviously makes sense that like you are more you're at least required in the American people's eyes in the country you're leading to be prioritizing the people you lead as opposed to others across
I have a quick
across the
question,
world. Now, does that mean that like Americans are worth more than people across the country? No, but like I think we would agree that like any leader of any country has more of a responsibility to their people than like a person in a different country.
Appreciate the box love. Well, I mean, I would just argue like, what did the war in the Middle East do for people in America?
I'm not a proponent of the war in the Middle East.
I know, I agree with you, but like that's what Obama, right, was continuing and engaging with, and that's what led to like innocent people that he would have killed.
But not Biden.
Same thing. Well, I mean, Biden's also involved himself in actions in the Middle East. You could say that there are other types of conditions,
Yo,
but
can you
again,
hear
as
me?
a president of the United States, you do have the
Yeah, we can hear
ability
you.
to,
Sorry. No, I had a question, that's fine.
to shift out a lot of these sorts of scenarios. The same way that he puts pressure on like Israel and not going into Rafah, the same way he could have put pressure on them prior to that point. Right. So like, I mean, I do think that we can point to particular conditions and be like, oh, I think he should have acted differently than he did. Right. Obviously, there are going to be bad things with every president I'm going to point towards. And the level of badness for Biden is significantly less than like most US presidents. But like,
then, like-
I would say that these things are bad. Like I'm never going to say that.
So then
killing
how do you
innocent people is
determine
okay.
that Biden is like a bad person? Like you're saying like, oh, I hold this thing.
I'm just saying that
regarding
there's significant
It's
enough
mixed children,
things to
that's
say
very
that I
bad.
think are bad that
Okay, Eduardo,
would
thank you for
classify
Very
that.
valuable.
Like I'm just
Sorry,
saying
say
there's
that
a
again.
significant
Eduardo was
enough.
talking shit.
Yeah, it's just like I'm saying that there's a significant enough amount of things to say that like he's bad. Same thing with like Obama. Do I mean everything about their character is bad? No, there's an overwhelming amount of characteristics about Joe Biden that I agree with that I think are good. A lot of good domestic policy, economic policy, really great things. He's got a lot of good character points, but like character value traits and stuff like that. But I definitely do think that I can point towards these things that they've done in other countries as it relates to their foreign policy.
So you're just saying
that I
the
would
cons
disagree
outweigh
with.
the pros.
Yeah, like if we were to say like from a say from like an overall perspective, I would say that I disagree with him enough on these things to say that like the cons are worse. Do I think the cons are worse comparative to Trump? No. But like this is like we're comparing him to like an ideal person. Like the ideal candidate that I have, right? Him comparative to Joe Biden, obviously there'd be more cons for Joe Biden in that scenario. I'd pick like an ideal candidate.
Wait, so when you
of
say
them.
that you think that Biden's a bad person, are you in doing that comparing him to your ideal candidate, or are you comparing him to like your
comparing
average
to
person?
ideal candidate.
Well, don't you think that's like an unfair standard because you're never going to have somebody who's like perfect?
Well, I mean, we could say that through most points in history. Like there are a lot of bad people that have existed throughout history, right? Even if there was
Yeah,
most
no, for
people
sure,
were
but I'm
bad in
saying,
a
like-
particular society, I don't think that would necessarily diminish the badness of one particular individual.
No, I know, but if we're being like pragmatic and like logical about it, you obviously recognize there's
Again,
never gonna
yeah,
be a
this is
perfect
exactly
candidate.
where I say again in pragmatic terms, he is way better than the alternatives we have. He's
No, I know.
definitely better.
I'm aware. Like, but alternatives aside, like I think like him fundamentally is a good person, and we look at like I think like the intent behind his policy and the intent behind even
Maybe-
some of
maybe
the
you say
actions
that
he
he's a
does
good
that you might
person.
disagree with is a good thing.
He's a good person, but does bad things unintentionally. Like I'd
I
be
mean,
okay with saying
like
that.
I think that that's a product of like anybody. I think a lot of people can do
Sure.
things that are positive or try to be positive, and then something unintentionally bad happens. But I don't think that makes Biden a bad person. I think like if you're acting with bad intent, that speaks louder to like the
so
unintended
then
consequences.
here
of
I'll
your
give you
actions.
this. Biden
Yeah.
intentfully is not a bad person, but do I think that like he's a bad person based on the effect of the things that he's done? Well, yeah, I could say that, right? But again, I think it's different than the way that you're using the term bad person, because when you use the term bad person, I think you're imposing, say, a more excessive level of bad type standard onto them.
What do you mean excessive level of bad?
Like when like you mean more direct, like intentful harm.
Yeah, I guess I'm talking about like intent because like you can't. I think as president, compared to your average person, there's so much out of your control, right? There's so much that can happen that you directly can't influence, and I think that's like being seen in like the Middle East as well. Like it's so complex.
Hey
that,
Parker, I have to respectfully disagree. What you said
Well,
about
before you do, Edward, I want to say one thing.
Wait, what?
Like, let's say there's an anti-vax person, right? And
Yeah.
they're promoting anti-vax policy. It's bad. Where I think that they're a bad person for promoting that policy, but they're not intentfully doing something bad. They might think that these vaccines are really bad, right? They are really bad for us. So intentfully, they're not necessarily doing something bad, right? Like they're not.
but isn't promoting anti-vax policy bad?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like the certain things that they might promote we would consider bad. Are they intentfully trying to do something bad? No. That's what I would say.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, do I think that Biden's a
But then aren't they? I mean,
here? Like, let me clarify. Like, do I think Biden's a disingenuous person? No. Like, I guarantee Biden's a very genuine person. But do I think that the effect of the things that he supports is bad? Yeah, in certain scenarios.
But then
Again, because no president I'm going to get is going to agree with me 100%.
But then isn't I would still say somebody that's arguing for anti-vax policy is like is doing it in a with bad intent. They're like being disingenuous, right? Because there's so much
don't think most
overwhelming
people
evidence
are.
to the contrary of their point.
Yeah,
But, like, I
they
think
can
like
have
if you-
evidence to the
if you're-
contrary, but they just don't decide to believe that, and that's why they're not
Well, that's
intentfully causing
exactly.
harm.
So I think that's like they're deciding obviously not to believe the overwhelming evidence. So I think that and then they're advocating for policy of which there's overwhelming evidence is bad. So even like if you factor all that in, I still think they're being disingenuous, leading to dangerous situations. So I think that disingenuous nature of that person advocating for that policy makes them a bad person, or makes them bad at least in the context of
I don't think
politics.
that's in all scenarios. I think that clearly speaking, we would say disingenuous if they're like intending to lie in a particular scenario. Let's give like a particular scenario. You might say this isn't applicable to a lot of anti-vax people out there. That's probably true. A lot of them out there are very disingenuous. I've debated a lot of them. But the point is that there are people out there that do genuinely believe that these things are bad, right? That these vaccines are bad, even though there's very overwhelming evidence indicating that they're not bad, right? They don't trust the media, they don't trust the news, and there are smart people that do this that get co-opted by misinformation and by plenty of different things. So there are people that intentfully, right, they're not trying to do the bad thing, they're trying to do a good thing by calling out things they think are harmful to, say, their family members or something like that. But again, I don't think that like they're promoting a good thing. They're ultimately promoting misinformation, disinformation that leads to people dying, which I think is bad. Like, does
But
that
then
make
again,
sense?
like, I think my point still stands of like if that person knows that there's so much information against their point and they're arguing for the opposite, even if they believe that there's not, I think that that's still like disingenuous from the get-go that they're holding that belief. I don't know if what I just said makes any sense. Not coherent.
Like, when you say disingenuous, like, what do you mean? Because like, I think that
Yo, got a
disingenuous is
quick
like a
question.
willful process.
You seen the
Like,
Corn Pop speech?
someone's got to know
The
what's
infamous Corn
true,
Pop speech?
and they decide not to engage upon that.
You can't hear that shit and tell me that's not normal.
I honestly didn't hear
and,
what
like,
you said because
because-
what I was talking.
No, so like,
the
I would
Corn
say,
Pop speech.
be quiet, bro.
Okay, all right.
Due to the
right,
due to the
one sec. Well,
misinformation,
we're gonna get back to you in a second. 1 second. Go ahead.
due to the misinformation, what they believe to be true is different from what we believe to be true. So what they believe there's evidence for is different from what we see there to be clear
Yeah,
evidence.
no,
for.
so I think there's like individual circumstances of which it could be true that someone who's advocating for an anti-vax policy is not doing it with bad intent, and that there's like they're only subjected to certain information. But I don't think that is applicable to like a case of Biden as president, right? Well, I just think like Biden's not being giving one side of the information, and then anyway, I'll leave it there. Sorry.
No. What I'm just saying is that and the point I'm comparing is unknowingly doing bad things. Do I believe that he's doing these bad things intentionally? No. Right? I do believe that
Okay.
Joe Biden as an individual is doing the best that he thinks he can. I do believe that he believes that. Again,
But
do I
then you're
completely
so
agree
when you
with
say
him?
that Biden's
No.
a bad person, you're saying because of the unintended consequences of some of the things he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
And I think that that's true for plenty of people. Like, for example, someone can be unintentfully racist and like the negative impacts can be like bad upon like society. Like they voted or they advocated for something bad, but they didn't intend to be racist. But I would still consider it like
You
racist
still
what they
consider
did.
them a bad person.
Yeah.
But then I still feel like there's like a difference. I feel like there's different. I think it's circumstantial and different standards for like someone who's a president when there, as I mentioned, there's so much out of his control. Like there's no possible way that Biden as president, who has to make like really tough decisions like bombing something when he's given like information that it's a terrorist attack, is like should be held to the standard of like, oh, he was doing this with good intent, but then there was a bad consequence. That means he's automatically a bad person. I think the standard is different than it would be for like you and me. Like if you're a person, you're advocating for racist policy, but you're not doing it to be malicious. I think that's just different.
Like, here, I would ask you this: if you were president, do you think that you would have sent the same level of bombs as them? Like, knowing
Oh,
that
I wasn't
there
even
would
talking
be...
about Israel. I was talking, but
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, typically in the Middle East, like, we have sent bombs into the Middle East when a lot of these countries, they weren't even ones that, promoted war against us in the first place. Like, a majority
Yeah.
of the people involved in 9/11, they were from Saudi Arabia.
right.
Which, again, actually, this is another thing that I think people don't bring up, is that Trump supported Saudi Arabia, which literally led to a genocide of Yemeni people. Right, 85,000
continued
Yemeni
Yemeni's
children.
policy, yeah.
That's a genocide. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't recognize that's a genocide. So, like, there are plenty of things I can point out. Again, significantly worse in Trump, but again, obviously, I can point to things I disagree with Biden on. I think that there are clear disagreements I have with Biden. So like I think that we're kind of getting mistaken here. Like when I say this, I'm not saying that again intentfully he's trying to disingenuously do something bad. I'm saying that like there could be lots of influences that could be getting him to do bad things unknowingly. So like again, when actually, I mean, I guess it could be even knowingly as well. Like if we're talking about, we know that there's going to be innocent people that die, like to a particular degree, given this drone strike, right? Would you be okay with killing them? Right, those innocent people. Like, say a few people.
I mean, I think that's also like that's a tough question. I just think of like that's also circumstantial. You know, like for example, with the Osama bin Laden raid, like that was like something we knew that could kill a lot of innocent people. Like we have no idea who's around the compound, but Obama made the call, and I think that is probably the right call. So I just think it's like, but like if you know you have like one terrorist in a group of like 40, which we're seeing in like Gaza right now, that's obviously not the right call. But I guess like the main objection is that I don't see the cons outweighing the pros. So even if you're like, let's just say your point, you know, you're saying like the unintended consequences make Biden a bad person, then what about the pros? I mean, what about the fact that like he got 200 million people? I know you agree with all of this, but what about like the 200 million people vaccinated in 100 days? Like you have no idea how many lives that might have saved or investing in fighting
those
climate
are all
change
good
long-term.
things. The point that we're talking here is that we're taking everything. Here's how we kind of here. Actually, it's called like proto evil. It's essentially I'm taking like these isolated specific circumstances where I disagree with him. I'm not saying necessarily I overall disagree with him. Like there are plenty of things I believe that he did that are good.
Yeah, but you're saying like the cons outweigh the pros overall.
Yeah, as it relates to like foreign policy and those particular things.
But
like,
are you saying that
I think he's actually, we can consider him good on domestic policy. Like I don't agree with him fully,
okay,
but I can
wait,
consider him good on domestic policy.
So you're saying that in individual instances of policy, he's a
yes,
bad
like
person.
foreign policy. Yes.
Oh,
I'm not
but are you
saying. I'm not
like
saying
overall.
I'm not saying like say for if we were to like hyper specifically look at domestic policy, I would say the pros outweigh the cons. Right, but if we're talking
then
like
what about,
overall,
but you're not speaking overall as a person.
and then we're talking like foreign policy included and stuff like that. Yeah, I would think that those things are worse.
Okay, so wait, just to be clarified. So in foreign policy, you think he's a bad person, but overall, do you have a determination as to?
So
What do you
again,
think
like
is a good
when I say he's a bad person, I'm going to say there's a significant enough things about them that I consider bad. Like for example, right, and they've cheated on their partner. Well, I think they're a bad person, right, because they've cheated on their partner. But I don't think that they're like overall in every circumstance bad. Does that make sense?
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just still unsure. Like, are you saying that Biden as a whole person is bad, like is a bad person as an entirety, not just foreign policy?
I think we're getting confused with this. So what I mean is that like okay, again, when I say someone who's a cheater is a bad person, I don't mean that they're necessarily in all circumstances bad, but I would still call them a bad person. Does that make sense?
So then,
like they could be a good person as it relates to they give to
someone...
charity. They might help out their family when needed, but they're a bad person because they've cheated on a partner. Does that make sense?
But are you saying that they're just bad when it comes to relationships and they're good when it comes to charity?
Yeah, I would say that.
Like, are you?
But I would still be okay with the statement of saying that they're a bad person.
Okay.
Like,
what if you have like
this is what makes me think
like,
that. Hold on, this is what makes me think that we're using bad person in two separate ways, and that's what's confusing us here. So it's just a miscommunication in how we're using the term. So when I say bad person, right, I'm using it in sort of the same way that I say like, oh, Donald Trump is a bad person because he cheated on his partners.
How do you? Okay. Maybe
Or
I'm
like-
thinking of bad. Maybe I'm thinking of bad too, like broadly. When you say bad person, when I think like bad person, I think like the majority of their actions are bad. But like if you have, for example, if you have someone who
Let's
cheats
say-
on their
let's-
spouse,
Here, I'll give
but
you an
they
example.
donate like $1 billion to charity every single year, and in every other aspect they're pure. I don't know if I would call them a bad person.
I'd be comfortable with calling them a bad person. Like if someone murdered someone, but then every aspect of their life they do things that are good, I still think they're a bad person.
But then I think that's like a different level. I think like you could
Sure.
if for example you kill a bunch of people.
You think that cheating is less excessive than murder? I agree with you, obviously.
So sure, something like that.
But
Like if you're
but
like Netanyahu, there's no redeeming, right?
Yeah.
But
So
if you're-
like, yeah, in like a certain sense, like again, we're just using the terms differently, right? You say that
Okay.
there's a greater excessive standard for calling someone bad, and I'm saying there's kind of a lesser excessive standard of calling someone bad.
so our standards are just different.
Yeah, for what we consider like a bad person. But like we still agree. It's just this is the hard thing about language is that we probably mean very similar things,
Right.
but we're just using different words to explain it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I can see our standards being different. I guess we're using the similar words. We're just maybe defining them slightly differently. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, sorry, Eduardo.
You good? I was reading the
wait, so-
comments. It's funny.
Don't mean to take us off. Don't mean to take us off.
Sorry,
Good, bro.
Eduardo. Sorry.
There's this one dude. He seems to be my biggest fan. He just keeps on spamming corn pop, and then he put an emoji of a popcorn and shit. It's kind of funny.
Okay.
No, so I guess
Wait, I
people
don't know if I
are
said this, by the way, but Kristen, thank you for the $10. And there's no worries. I appreciate your message. I won't read it out loud, but I appreciate you being here no matter what. And Wicked, thank you for the $1. And Matthew, thank you for the $10, saying, hey, I'm a Democrat, but watching your lives is so informative. Hope I can meet you one day. Oh, and I'm voting Wisconsin. Swing state, baby. I love it. Amazing, Matthew. Hopefully, one day. And Wendy, thank you for the $5, saying you and Parker
Someone
debating
said
has been the
something.
best birthday present.
Wendy, think of the $5 as well. She said the same thing to me.
That's fun. That's fun. Carter, thank you for the $2 on Cash App, saying thoughts on Russian ships parking at Cuban ports.
Think of the $5.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Mojo, thank you for the $2 as well. I'm not a psychiatrist, but hope it helps. Matt, thank you for the $5, saying with Harry Parker debate, love you both. There you go. There you go. I think I think Biden's a good person.
Your
Bro,
friend
did he
left.
get banned?
I didn't do it, bro. I swear.
Oh yeah, Eduardo, I think you're sitting behind the keyboard at TikTok getting you people banned. No, for sure. Bro, did he get banned? Wait, did he get banned? Wait, hold on now. I just invited him. Hold on now. No.
That was an accident.
Oh,
That was an accident. One
Okay.
second. I'll be right back.
I was like, bro, no way. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. All right, Eduardo, do you have anything else, bro?
No, I'm not a Trump fan. I just prefer him as a president over Biden, honestly. So I was just saying MAGA so you can choose me earlier. But no, as
You
for a
prefer
president,
Biden?
what?
You
No,
prefer Biden?
I on the comment section, I was just putting MAGA so you would choose me to like the two on the debate. But I'm not necessarily a MAGA Trump fan. I'm not really even a conservative, but I just prefer Trump as a president over Biden as a president. Not as a person, as a president. I really do feel he'll just clean up the southern border here. You know, we have it's such a crisis over here. On God, that's not even a joke. There's such a crisis over here.
Okay.
And I feel like just him being president could kind of be a deterrent. And I mean, he says he's going to do things. All presidents say they're going to do things, right? But, you know, I'm hoping he does do some of the things he said. You know, I guess
right,
just
thank-
cleaning up the border here. But thanks
Yeah.
for inviting me.
Get out of here,
We'll see.
Eduardo.
All right, Eduardo, thank you so much, man. Have a good night, okay?
Bastard.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bud. Yo, if Jaden's in the chat, make yourself known. I want to invite you up. I just looked in the box. There was no Jaden. We love Jaden, though. So if you are here, please make yourself known. I will. Oh, there he is. Wait, why don't I follow this account? Is this a second account?
Hey, here I am.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was looking in the you know how like at the top of the thing, it's the friends come up. I didn't see it.
No,
Is
yeah, I
this a-
got it. You got fucking 80,000 people in the box, so that's understandable.
Ridiculous. All right. So we have I just brought up two people here. So Maya and the hero, are you both MAGA?
Oh yeah.
I
Both
am.
of you. One after
What's
the
up
other.
with
Maya,
the
tell us about your
Cracker Jack
MAGA.
noise?
Yeah.
40
Why-
and because of I'm MAGA because originally because I didn't want to see Hillary in office, and he did such a great job that
Yeah.
I want to see a second term.
Can you name me before I go talk to the hero? Can you name me 5 policies that Donald Trump got passed through Congress?
Okay, we have 3 bills that benefit natives, the Spokane tribe, loss for the loss of their lands, funded native languages, the Little Shell tribe of the Chippewa Indians in Montana, the Space Force,
Space Force.
the EPA. He gave $100 million for water infrastructure for Flint, Michigan.
The EPA. Didn't he like try to dismantle the EPA?
Yeah, wait, hold on. What?
But he funded $100 million for water for infrastructure for Flint, Michigan. The FOSTA, Stop
I
Enabling
can't even believe what
Sex
I just heard.
Trafficking Act, SESTA,
It didn't stop enabling it.
FOSTA and SESTA. Do you know what those are?
It just made it a federal crime, yeah. But that had
Okay.
already been the case. I don't know what of substance actually changed by him passing that.
He brought these things into order, into law, kind of like the border. You know, the border that you
I
guys
don't know what
messed
that.
up.
They were already illegal.
Oh, and that's another thing there, Harry. The last time I talked to you,
Okay.
you specifically told me that Joe Biden
Not a-
couldn't do an executive order on the border. This was
No,
like-
I said that Biden
this
could
was
shut
days
down
before.
the border with
And
executive
then you
order.
said that I couldn't. What did you ask me? What law?
I don't remember.
What law was it that he was going to be able to do an executive order on the border? And I said he can do an executive order the same way that Trump did an executive order.
I didn't say that Biden can't do an executive order on the border.
That's what you
I
told
said
me
that
last time.
That's not what I said. I said that he
So
can't
why didn't
shut
he
it down
then?
with
Why
executive
didn't he?
order. He can't just be like, yeah, there's no more immigration happening. He just
Yes,
can't do that with
he
executive
can.
order.
He definitely can.
He cannot do
So
that.
what's the 2,500?
That pertains to asylum. That's a cap. That's not saying like, yeah, there's no. By the way,
Yeah.
this is probably going to get struck down in court. First of all, but second of all, it's a cap. It's not just saying like, hey, there's no more immigration at all. Just like no more. He can't do that.
So you can keep deflecting and you can keep.
It's not deflecting. I'm addressing
are.
what I
Where's
said.
Where's the
last time.
deflection?
The deflection is the fact that I told him that Biden could do an executive order. 2 days later, an executive order came
Nobody,
out.
wait.
2
Nobody
days
ever
later.
claimed that he can't do an executive order on
You did.
anything regarding the
You
border.
claimed it. You tried to get
I
me
did
to,
not.
to tell you
I did
what
not. No, you're
law
just you're blatantly
would
lying
enable
right
him.
now.
No, the
you're
question was
blatantly
whether or
lying.
not it was constitutional, which all likelihood it's not.
Yeah, it's already been sued by the ACLU, I believe. Sued it.
So you're telling me that
so-
the possibly upwards of 18 million illegal immigrants.
Where'd you get that number from?
Well, okay, we'll stay at 11, and we'll stay at 11.
Where'd
it was
you get
at,
11 from?
Because that's the number of border crossings this year.
Where this year?
This year, or
2024.
Since Biden's been in office.
Oh, okay.
Those
I don't know
are
where
two
you got that
different
number
things.
either.
It's 11. Look it up. I'll look it up for you.
where?
I'll give it to you.
What's the source?
Where? What's the source on that?
I'll pull it up.
Okay, good. You do that.
But go ahead, continue on, and I'll pull it up for you.
You were making a point, so we're waiting for you. But you know what? Maybe we'll read.
Heroes, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, let's talk to him.
So I am a Trump
So
supporter.
what's
yeah.
one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class?
So I guess I want to say I'm more newer to the politics, and I've really enjoyed watching you guys.
Nice
say.
stick around
You know,
questions.
I enjoy seeing both sides and learning more about everything that's going on. And Parker, a lot of respect out to you to be able to step back and kind of see good and bad in both sides. And I'm not a Biden hater. By all means, I'm not a Biden hater. I don't think that Biden has
I am. He
destroyed
sucks.
the country like some do, but I do have some questions because a lot of my influence comes from the media. You know, like what comes on my For You feed. I'm raised by a Republican family. However, I've not always seen eye to eye with Republicans. I voted for Obama both times. There are definitely things I disagree with Trump, and there are behaviors of his that I obviously don't find appealing. But there's also stuff I see about Biden that obviously concern me as well that don't get talked about. You know, like Harry, I know one of the points that you bring up a lot is the sexual assault stuff with Donald Trump, with the
Yep.
hush money, all that stuff, which, you know, obviously is concerning. But I also see things about this Tara Reid with Joe Biden. You know that.
No, you don't. You don't see things about that because she recanted 4 years ago.
So and that's things I don't know, because this is things that are coming on my For You feed like today.
Sounds like somebody kind of pressured her into doing that, huh?
Yeah, that was Donald Trump.
It's like
He's used to
people have
silencing
money.
women, right?
Well,
So
and
I would
that's-
say,
that's
in
the
all
problem
likelihood, it
with,
was
like,
Donald
all
Trump
media.
that got her
Like
to
Tara
stop.
Reid, huh?
How is somebody
Tara Reid?
supposed
Well,
to
yeah,
know?
in all likelihood, he probably paid a gag order like he did with Stormy Daniels and paid Tara. I mean, his
Yeah,
track
you sound
record
like
would
somebody
support
I'd
that,
smack the
paying
shit
off
out of
women
if I
and
was
silencing
supposed
them. So
to
yeah, Donald
pick
Trump
her up.
paid it.
And hey, I'm not saying that's not necessarily true, but that's what I'm saying. You know, what makes a lot of this stuff
Jaden's a
so hard
wannabe
is
bully. I'd beat the
Oh, he's
shit out of him.
crying.
media
Shut
on
up.
both
Go ahead.
sides, like, put out so
Beat the
much
shit out
stuff
of that
out there that, like, how do you know how to
Bro,
tell?
I'm not
what's
gonna
real,
kiss
what's
you.
Well, sorry here. They're having their.
not? Y'all good, man.
Can you stop with the dirty talk back there? I'm trying to hear out this guest who patiently waited for your absurdities to finish, and now you keep talking.
Sorry. Go ahead, Hero. Go ahead. As long as this guy doesn't chime in, you're good. Go for it.
No, but I mean, like, how does, you know, especially Harry, for somebody like you that advocates, you know, for Joe Biden, like,
Yeah.
how is one supposed to to cipher out all of the garbage that the media puts out there, both sides. Because I know one thing is like
Critically think, right?
Do
Like
your due diligence.
okay, which one seems worse to you? Even if you don't like Joe Biden, which one seems worse to you? The proven sexual abuser, proven fraudster, election denier, the guy who literally put multiple Supreme Court justices in the office with the explicit reason
Proven
of
by
overturning
who?
Roe versus Wade,
You got
restricting
video?
tens of millions of
No,
women's
stop
access
talking.
to abortion. A guy who said he had sex in common with his daughter. Said he would date his daughter if it wasn't his daughter. Right? Said it was okay for him to walk into changing rooms of girls in Miss Teen USA because he
Dude,
quote
we've heard
unquote
all
owns
this
the place.
1,000
Bro,
times.
shut
How
the
are you
hell
even
up.
times that you
old
still
enough to
fuck.
vote?
Wait, you've heard it a million times that you still support it? Yet you're still okay with it. Yet you still don't understand that it's bad.
From you guys, like these, like
'Cause we
when
know
Harry
you're
played that
lying, like
video
you lied about
earlier
Kobe.
of him saying that stuff, like I didn't even know that. Like
And the stolen
again,
fraud
I am
election.
Bro,
new to
shut
Are you
up,
still
or I'm gonna
talking?
keep- can you stop talking and give respect to your fellow guest?
No. fuck
Holy
no.
crap,
Fuck
you're
all
not the
you
most
pussies.
important person in the
I'll
room,
smack
buddy.
the hell out of every
Relax,
one of you.
take a breather, all right?
How are you old enough to vote?
Golly. All right, sorry, hero.
all good, man, all good.
He's just
But
being
yeah, like I definitely come in here with like open mind ideas and respect. Like
yeah.
by far, like I just see so much stuff about both of them. Now, obviously, that video was like kind of new to me. Like and that is, I mean, hands down, that is definitely concerning and disturbing. Like, why would anybody say that about their daughter? Clearly,
Right.
But then, on the other hand, I see in the media, what was all that with like Ashley Biden diary? Like, was that just bull crap too?
No, it's the content of that diary have never been verified. This
Let
is just
the
like
voice
something that
actor tell it.
Republicans
Yeah,
have
and,
been
that,
claiming.
and that's kind of what I did. Because I was doing some
years.
research as you guys were talking tonight, like all the different things you guys would bring up. I try to like look up and see what I could find, and like I got to say, you're right when you got to say people got to do their due diligence because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and not
A lot
on just
of
one side or the other,
accusations.
but like.
And you just like I think like what Parker said was like true. It's like you can just like critically think about this stuff, and you can like reference court documents as well. Like when you have a convicted felon who you can read about, you have the sexual abuser you can read about, the business fraud you can read about, you can read all this stuff, and then you have like Joe Biden who doesn't have any of this stuff, right? That I think is a pretty compelling argument in one side in the favor of Joe Biden as opposed
Weaponized
to, like,
DOJ,
for
yeah.
Donald Trump. If you don't shut the hell up,
Hey,
I'm
the
gonna, I'm gonna
DOJ
kick
didn't
you.
investigate the case.
Kick me. I don't give a fuck. It's just
Yeah,
ass live anyway.
I
Interrupt-
guarantee you do give a fuck. You're gonna be so sad when he kicks you from the stream, and no
I
one is
know.
ever gonna hear your voice again, bro. You're gonna be so mad, bro.
So
You
sad.
literally
This is
sat in
one
the
of my
guest
bad
box
if you-
for how
You guys
long
are
to get up
dumb.
on the live, and you're like, oh my god, I don't care about being up here, but I wasted hours of my day waiting in the guest box.
Nice Kill Tony impression, queer.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
if you,
you
if
just-
you
you're
interrupt somebody
homophobic?
one more time, then you're
Of course
gone.
he
Okay.
is.
What? Oh my god.
I said if you interrupt somebody one more time while we're trying to talk to heroes, you're gone.
I'm
yeah?
sorry.
I'll give you-
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Anyway, heroes. So yeah, I just think like critical thinking, like referencing court documents and stuff like that, and official government data tells like an entirely different story. And of course, your due diligence is, when people say that Biden's responsible for the inflation,
People
just
saying debate
reading
Charlie
all that
Kirk.
stuff.
Tell him to send a guest request.
Yeah, tell him to get up here. Does he have a TikTok account?
Yeah, he does. He posts
All right, so
TikToks.
tell
It's
him-
he
funny.
gets
Nobody
million
ever
views.
complains about him being paid.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally
It's all-
is
Isn't that
paid.
ironic?
Literally is paid.
Literally is paid, and then holds like these conferences where these elected Republicans come and speak. And anyway,
Well,
It's
that's
such
good
a
for you
shame.
guys. I'm glad you guys all get paid, and I'm not hating. That's good for you.
yeah,
I mean,
we're all
you're
paid.
young and
Really?
you're getting
I don't
paid.
get paid.
I'm sure about 30% of you guys do.
Who are we getting paid by? Who are Jaden, me, and Parker getting paid by?
Well, I don't know about Jaden, but I'm pretty sure
Oh,
you and Parker are getting paid
So me and
Who
Parker
am I
are
getting paid by?
Why the fuck am I the odd man out?
because you're just a voice actor.
So
I'm not
so
just
like,
a voice
You're not
actor. That's a
talking
part
here.
of what I
there's an
do.
example of TikTok.
He's somebody
putting
who
information
wipes
out
the
there.
floor with you. I feel like that's another title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. Who am I paid
Wouldn't have
by?
a chance. I'd wipe the floor with all three
Who
of
am I
you.
paid
Oh
by?
wait. Do
How
you
much
want to
money
debate
would you
him
want to put on
one-on-one?
this?
Do you want to
I'm
debate him
talking
one-on-one?
about hands.
Sure,
I'm
let's-
talking about a grown-ass man beating the hell out of
Oh,
me.
so
no,
you're trying to kick my ass because you can't handle an intellectual conversation. Got
Well,
it.
Maya, we'll
I don't.
mute.
I have
Like,
PTSD.
and I'm sure Heroes will go along with it. Me, Parker, and Heroes will mute, and you can talk to Jaden one-on-one, and we can see who's
Sure.
who's more intellectual. Yeah.
My stuff ain't real because it's all conspiratorial.
So is that a yes or a no?
Okay, so he's conceding.
Yeah. If you don't
okay,
agree,
what's the
you can
debate
see.
topic? We'll do COVID.
Okay, we're Heroes. If you don't mind, just like sitting tight,
Hey,
unless you have anything else.
I'm down to
Oh,
sit tight.
there it is.
All right, so
Problem.
Heroes,
Warning.
me,
I already
Heroes,
got a
and
ban.
Parker will
Warning.
mute. So go ahead.
Yeah, do you want to talk COVID? What part of it?
Okay. Let's indulge in this. What's going on with Kansas suing Pfizer?
You got to be more specific.
Okay, Kansas is suing Pfizer for basically falsifying, knowingly harming individuals and putting out their
In what
vaccine
capacity?
early. And the reason that they did this and they did it this way, they did not go under the Warp Speed Act. They didn't go under that side so that they wouldn't. And they have documentation and emails saying such. And it's only been 2 weeks now, so you probably don't know anything about it. Obviously, you guys don't really do your homework. So we'll switch that one. We'll
What are
switch
the
out.
three
No,
branches
wait.
of
Let's stay on
government?
that topic. I mean, why are we switching it?
No, not
It's
not
weird
away
that you're
from-
alleging that we don't know enough. You have the opportunity
no.
right now to educate us on the full scope of this lawsuit, and now you
Okay.
don't want to.
Well, good.
What it had
No,
to
that's
do
fine.
was claims. I know what the fucking lawsuit is, man. I wanted to see if you did. What it had to do was with a claim that Pfizer had misrepresented its results, its effects on pregnancy and myocarditis, which I would say is
Exactly.
wholeheartedly unfounded because none of those things have a correlation, any negative long-term effects
Bullshit.
in either case.
Bullshit. See, how
Prove
do you
me
how do
wrong,
you know
then.
how do you know what long-term effects are when it's only been 3 years?
Because we have the
Going on
largest
4 years.
clinical, we've had the largest clinical trial size out of any vaccine period. This has been
So-
over 40,000 people tested and at least 5 years worth of data at this point.
So you're so smart at this stuff. Why is Chris Cuomo taking why is he taking ivermectin for long COVID? If ivermectin doesn't work for COVID.
It doesn't work for COVID. Ivermectin is an anti-parasitic. It wouldn't have any
Yes,
effect
but
on a
are you-
virus,
are you,
anyways.
Are you what is it? An antiviral? Are you a viral
I'm not
scientist?
antiviral when it
Virologist?
comes to.
Yeah,
Yes,
virologist.
it's
Virologist.
virologist.
Thank you for
would
the
be
tip.
term.
$1.60.
No, I'm not anti-parasitic, but for that to be a treatment towards a respiratory disease, I think is a bit irrelevant.
Okay, well, how come? Why would I would say millions of doctors prescribe this
No, they
medicine?
don't.
Not
No,
the
they
horse
don't.
medicine.
No, they don't.
Not the horse
No one in the FDA has endorsed this as a reputable treatment for
Whoa, 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 whoa,
COVID-19.
whoa, whoa,
No
whoa,
one
whoa,
within
whoa.
the WHO
What is-
or the CDC,
What does the FDA have to do?
the
Food
Federal
and
Drug Administration. The
Yeah,
Federal
what do
Drug
they have to do?
Administration approves. Yes, they approve in what people can consume as treatment of certain ailments.
So the FDA controls what doctors give their patients.
They monitor it.
They monitor.
Yes.
So you're telling me
and
you're
can
telling me
endorse
without
and
a
set
shadow of a doubt
guidelines. They
that they did
endorse and
not
set
prescribe
guidelines for how much
ivermectin.
people can take of a certain product, whether or not
So-
it can be regulated in a certain way. This, that,
You're
and the
telling me
other.
that Joe Rogan's doctor that prescribed him ivermectin,
Joe Rogan's doctor's
he's worth
probably a
$200
quack.
million. So
I would have to see-
Now,
I would
now
have
you're
to see-
smarter than these people's doctors because not only Joe Rogan,
Yes,
my
I am
wife's
smarter than
doctor-
Joe Rogan's
my
doctor
wife's
because now
doctor
he's
prescribed
complaining
her
about
ivermectin.
long-term pancreatic issues and stomach complaints.
So you
So,
don't
yeah,
think that
I
has
would
to do
say
with
that
anything else in
I
his
can
life,
accurately
lifestyle?
make the assessment that
It's out of 50
ivermectin
years?
does nothing in terms of of the effects of COVID, and especially long COVID.
You don't know. You're
Unless
not
you have a
virologist.
study to prove me otherwise, I'd be more than happy to read it. But yeah, this is an anti-parasitic on what
These
we're
are
looking
doctors.
at.
Let me get Dave Smith's information up here because I'm pretty sure
I would
he had
like
the
no.
same thing.
I don't want just one doctor. I would like a longitudinal
No,
meta-analysis.
Okay, so that's my
You
point.
know what
right
those
there.
words mean?
You-
A
do you
meta-analysis,
know-
a peer-reviewed study.
So do you know?
Excuse
do
me.
You know who
Do
this
you
guy
know
is?
what a peer-reviewed study is? A meta-analysis, sir?
Melissa,
Yeah,
thank
and
you
I
for
know- I know
$5 for the
that-
DNC.
I know that books can also
Is his
be
work?
doctored.
We
for the
aren't
$5.
Books can be
talking
doctored.
books. We're talking studies here,
Yes, these are studies or books.
meaning
the
a
same thing.
collective.
Yes. Can they be doctored?
Okay.
Can
You
they be
citing
doctored?
one doctor doesn't cite a collective study, a meta-analysis.
just one
That's what
doctor.
I'm asking you for. And if you have a meta-analysis from the National Institute of Biotechnology and Information, by all means provide it. But so far as I know, no such thing exists.
So
Matthew, thank you for the $10.
okay, we'll deflect off of that then, since you want to.
Let's not deflect off of this. I'm asking you to present me the meta-analysis that endorses the case for ivermectin being treatment for COVID.
Okay, like you said, COVID. It was brand new. I mean, it's not brand new, but
It
it's
is
5
4 and a
years,
half
four-
years
4
out the
years
gate
into
at
it.
this point.
Yes, and what happened out the gate? The vaccine started.
Do you
coming
have
out.
that study, sir? Can you go and find it for me?
No, no.
I don't
there
want
is
to.
no
I'm
study.
not going to
You know
pivot
why
off this
there's no
point.
study.
Maya,
There is
I'm not
no
pivoting
study.
off this point.
I'm
No,
telling
you made
now,
the claim.
There is no study.
You made the claim. Okay, so there is no study. Then why
You
am
know
I
why
taking
there's no
some
study?
random ass quack doctor's word for it over the greater portion of people that have endorsed
What
the
greater
vaccine?
portion? The people? You mean CNN and MSNBC?
No, I
and-
don't mean CNN. I mean the NCBI. I mean the WHO. I mean the CDC and the FDA.
So you're telling me that only the government Only the government has doctors that can actually provide proof. Only the government.
No, I
has
didn't say
doctors.
that.
That's
didn't
basically
say
what you're
that.
telling me.
No,
you're telling me
that's
that
not what
Lord
I said at
Fauci-
all. Thank you for
Lord
that wonderful
Fauci
straw man, because that's
runs
definitely
everything.
not what I said.
That's
I'm
basically what
asking
you
for
said.
a peer-reviewed meta-analysis, which, thanks to government funding, this is what we've been able to
this is my
provide
point.
across
So
the entire scope of the medical community, not just here in America, but
this
abroad.
just
Have had the consensus overall, over and above the last 4.5 years, that the vaccine
5,000
is the most
people.
reputable treatment for COVID-19.
5,000 people are watching. You lie.
Great. They're watching you fumble fucking
No.
hard. You were saying
you'll-
all
if
that
you'll shut
fucking
the hell
yip
up for 10
yappity shit in the
seconds, you're just
background,
gonna
and
keep
now that you're
talking. You're
fucking
gonna
put
keep
to the
talking.
now that
You're
you're
not-
put
you're
to
just
yeah,
gonna
you
keep
want to
talking.
talk about who's keep talking here. You wouldn't shut the fuck up when we tried to talk to the last person. Now
Keep
that it's
talking.
become apparent that you don't know a
He who
single
laughs
goddamn
loud
thing you're
laughs
talking
best.
about, you're caught.
No, I'm not. You're just the idiot.
Yes, I'm the idiot. Then give me the study. Educate
back.
me. I'm
Sit
so
back and listen.
ill-informed. I'm so fucking
Listen,
ill-informed,
Bell
Maya. I
Pepper
don't know
Nose.
anything I'm talking
I can't
about.
hear
So
you.
you can
Talking through
provide
your
the
damn
peer-reviewed
nose.
meta-analysis
Big-ass
that I'm
nose.
apparently missing, okay? Can you do that for me, Maya?
If you'll shut the hell up, I'll tell you something.
No. Tell me what the study is.
There is
Don't
no
just tell
fucking
me
study, you
something.
retard.
All right, get him out of
Oh,
here. He's gonna get your live banned.
Shut up, pussy.
Can
You
a
are
mod
what you
please,
eat.
can a mod please get it while Harry's not here? Everyone, can a
Big-ass
mod
nose.
please
I'm
get
gonna
him?
just keep
Look at
reporting
that
him.
big-ass white
Yeah,
pepper
can a
nose.
mod please
Bell
get him? I
pepper
don't
ass
have
nose.
What
the
was that? My big
You heard
ass
me, Bell
what?
Pepper?
Harry. I would kick him. He
Big-ass
just slurred,
nose.
by the way.
Oh, okay, goodbye. Get out.
It's only big because your mom sits on my face. Anyways, if we have anybody, it didn't go very well for him.
Yo, Kalina, thank you for the $1. Addie, thank you for the $2. And Hugo, thank you for the $10 on Cash App. That's a fascinating message. And Alana, thank you for the $1. And Melissa, thank you for the $5. And Isaiah, thank you for the $1. Sorry, had to get through that. Yeah, Jaden won, obviously. I don't know what that is.
Handedly.
Everyone tap the screen. Let's get to 1 million likes. Share live as well, everyone.
So anyway, Heroes, do you have anything else you want to discuss regarding Trump versus Biden?
So like there are a couple of things that I'd like to like get some truth on and squash thoughts I have. So like I said, I'm new to TikTok. I'm new to getting used to the social platform, trying to get posts out there, and So one thing that I see on my feeds and people seem to bring up, and on a side note, by the way, I am like truly appalled by the way that the Trump supporters come on here and act, because like that's right now my stance. I'm a Trump
True to
supporter,
form.
and I would never treat you guys with disrespect like that. That's not how a human should treat another human, regardless of your political standpoint. Anyway, so like the point that people try to say you're paid all the time. So I see these videos out there on my For You feed that say something about Palette Media. Like what's the truth there? Like why does everybody like make it like because like I have that impression, like, and I want to know, is that a true impression I should have, or is there a truth that you can put to that to squash those thoughts I have,
Yeah. So essentially, I'm not paid, first and foremost, but my management company is called Palette Management. I've been with them for a while now. They do not pay me. I pay them. They're managers. So like think about how like an actor or a musician in like Hollywood has a management team. It'd be weird for the management team to pay the actor as opposed to the actor paying them. So that's kind of that gist. But they're confusing Palette Management with a different entity, Palette Media. And they're two different things. So Palette Media got money from the DNC for advertising, but Palette Management is my management name. So people like, oh, that must be the same thing. You're definitely getting paid, except I make no money. And I also find it funny that the one make no money from the DNC. I also find it funny that the one payment they cite is from like 2022. So apparently I've done all of this to just receive one payment in 2022. And no more, no further money. So anyway, that's
he's got
it's
two
true. I don't know
videos
why
still
people
up
are
of
saying
it.
I deleted them, because I didn't delete any videos. I've been sitting in this chat. So, and that's one of the things, I'll be transparent about that. So I did based on information that I've come across, I did 2 stitches of videos that you put out there that, again, why I asked if you were paid is I was under impressions I see somebody told me not to follow Old Millennial. So he's one that I've come to follow, but I've also come to have some different feelings about, based on some of the stuff I've come to see doing research. Because like, again, I was hesitant to even come in here tonight because I'm not very educated in politics. I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to get educated, and the For You feed definitely has fed me a lot of things that now I'm trying to fact check and beginning to question,
Let's see here. Let's watch one of these videos.
Well, you know,
and host Erin Burnett, and she asked me about President Biden's age and if it concerns me, and I wanted to show you my answer. So here it is.
No way, Hair Bear. Were you paid to go on CNN and tell a bunch more bull? Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Oh, and thank you for exposing just how biased CNN really is.
I refer to President Biden's 60 Minutes interview where he said, you know, watch me, in a question about his age. And I'm watching him, and his record's fantastic.
Hair Bear, are we talking about the same Joe Biden?
Based on what I see,
show you.
And what I see.
Roll it.
So, like,
That's you.
how do you explain that is me? So, like,
Hair Bear?
that would be
What's the hair? What's the hair?
You flirting with him?
Everybody on
Happy
my
Pride,
team
everybody.
calls you Hair Bear. For
I'm
some
not
reason.
interested. I'm sorry. I'm not interested.
So,
Go ahead. Well, I
in
want to watch
hindsight,
this
I can
next.
say,
Actually,
you know, again, it was a little biased of me and a little disrespectful because, like, I go off all the videos that I see, and I just it doesn't make sense to me based on what I'm seeing and what I'm, you know, the influence that I'm getting and the.
This sounds a little two-faced. Like you make a video and you're completely different than how you are when you get held
Makes
accountable
two
like, in front of
videos.
us.
wait. Let's watch the second one. So first of all, I don't know where the hair bear is coming from.
So, like,
Too funny. Oh, Hair Bear, what could be more funny than how overpaid you are to make these videos?
While Donald Trump was trying to make fun of President Biden's mental ability, saying it's not good, he himself slipped up,
Now, see,
showing
now
that
this I
he
do wanna
is
actually
the one
talk
mentally
about on-
declining.
Hey,
Take a
let's
look at the
watch.
clip.
Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor.
Do you notice that? He's like, yeah, Biden's not fit to serve. And then he points to the doctor in the crowd saying, hey, Dr. Ronnie Johnson right there, White House doctor. His name's not Ronnie Johnson.
Yes, we know. His name was Ronnie Jackson. Not really that big of a mistake.
really not. But keep watching. No, keep watching because.
Oh my god! If that happened the other way around, you guys would be freaking out.
Here's the thing,
Right,
it does,
if it was
though.
Biden.
Like if you would continue watching, like it does. Like what is with Biden's speech? Like that's another concern that I have. Like you met with him, so you met him firsthand, personally.
Yeah.
Right, but like, why is it not a big deal when it happens for Trump, but it's the end of the world case
Because
cause
it was
for dementia when it's
one time and
Biden?
it was a last name, but like
It's not just one time. He thinks
you're-
that
you're
Joan
calling-
Rivers endorsed him, and she died 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah, that's on video as well, by the way.
oh, I did not see that one yet. But here's the thing. So why can you call out one side but not the other?
We
'Cause that's the problem
can.
with both sides.
We can. That's fine.
Have you
We
called
We're just
guys
calling out the
for his
hypocrisy
mistakes?
here.
Like,
I'm like, which one? What's the most recent
well,
speech
it
you've
was on
watched?
that video. Like, I mean, he mumbles his words. Like, he was trying to think of one word for America, and it came out as
Yeah, he said opportunity. If you watch the full clip, the word was opportunity.
But like that happens a lot with Biden, or maybe it's just
Right, and you
maybe
guys
it's
just
edited,
ignore when
you know.
Trump says magnets go poof in water, and he ran against Obama in 2016, and he's going to get us into World War II, and that fucking Hannibal Lecter endorsed him, and that Joan Rivers endorsed him, even though she's dead.
Well, I got to say one thing.
Listen, I just wanna read a comment.
The Shark Grant. The Shark Grant was kind of like.
I want to read a comment from this video. Someone said Harry Sissy's son is on them hard drugs. I believe he's been smoking Hunter's C pipe. And you like the comment saying, haha, I have no doubt.
Damn.
And I have.
Dude, this
I
guy
had
is
a
so
very-
two-faced, bro.
I have-
Or what about
Crazy.
this one? This kid should be watched. He
Here's
clearly
the
has
thing. So,
political
like, I do have.
aspirations,
I
and
do
he's got
have a
zero
biased
conscience
opinion
about
of Harry
lying.
You wanna
based
watch
on the
kids?
content I watch, but I'm open to get truth, and I'm trying to do.
Hold on
my
now.
fact
Hold on
checking.
now. Listen to
So-
this. You said this one person said this kid should be watched. He clearly has political aspirations, and he's got zero conscience about.
This is just too funny.
Aw, Hair Bear, what could be more funny than how overpaid you are to make these videos?
While Donald Trump was... So I was just on CNN Live with CNN host Erin Burnett, and she asked me about President Biden's age and if it concerns me, and I wanted to show you my answer, so here it is.
No way, Hair Bear. Were you paid to go on CNN and tell a bunch more bull?
Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue.
I am with you. I will fight.
We didn't have to educate you on this. You already knew it, so that tells me you knew it when you accepted those comments, when
Make it a party.
when you liked them. You knew those things were already true.
All right, Tommy.
Make it a party. Listen, I want to read another comment from this video, which you liked. The comment reads, Harry is going to have a very rough life here soon. We won't forget the side he chose, the agenda he pushes, and you like that comment. Interesting.
Yes, because I think that President Trump has a chance to win, and I think that that would be very hard on you guys that are very much against him.
But we're not going to forget. I don't know, man. This is interesting stuff.
Now that we have all the paid DNC shills in the same room, what's up?
You also liked in your liked videos are videos about me as well. Wow. Jesus Christ, buddy, you got to make your likes private, man.
He had the gall to make it public.
His likes are public. His likes are public. Sorry, man. Ed, I don't mean to put you on blast. It just seems a little
Listen,
floppy.
I'm not opposed to being, I'm not opposed to being wrong. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, I don't know these things if I don't put myself out there to be called out, to be proven wrong, because, I might be wrong. But, like, I only know what I see and what comes across my feed and what people around me support and what people around me push, Like, I know how I can see how
having a crack pipe, right?
Or wanting to toss people you don't like off of mountains.
Well, it is easy to talk trash about people you don't know, and you only see clips of other people hating on them. So yes, it is easy to fall into that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny anything or try to make excuses for it. I mean, it's what I have come across on my feed. If you look at the videos I share or that I like, I don't have to hide anything. I don't have a problem admitting that I don't really know how I feel anymore. And honestly, sitting here in this live for 3 hours tonight has really, I'm a little uncomfortable with how much it's affected my view of things and how much maybe I really don't know or don't understand. I joined this live with different intentions, and there's a lot of questions I now have that aren't directed towards you, I guess I could say. If that makes sense.
Hey, I mean, first of all, Brent, thank you for the $5, and then Clara, thank you for the $10 saying Hair Bear. I guess it's catching on. Shout out, Clara. Thank you so much.
Everyone's gonna start calling you Hair Bear from now
people
on.
On my feed that comes across my For You feed have these Hair Bear clips. Like,
thank you, Jack, for the $1.
Yeah, Harry is all over your For You page.
I don't know,
Jesse, think of the $2.
I didn't know that was a thing. Like, to be honest, this is like a new thing for you. I didn't know that was like a name.
Those videos are how I found you and actually started watching your videos directly, and I started to try to see what you were actually putting out there as a whole, not just the stitch clips that would come across my feed.
Gotcha.
So
interesting. Well, anyway, I don't mean to grill you too much. It's funny.
By all means, I'm open to be grilled, man. I'm open to be schooled, and I want to learn. I want to know.
Okay, well then, would you vote for someone who's been held legally responsible for sexual abuse?
Yeah, you want to grill Hair Bear? Tell us how you really feel.
Well, frankly, I don't like any of the choices that are,
Well, you didn't answer the question.
Dude,
would you vote for someone that's been held legally responsible for sexual abuse?
I also can't believe that you truly mean you don't like either of the choices. A caption on your video recently was, "No matter what Crooked Joe does, I will stand behind Trump. Don't be silenced." And then you hashtag Trump 2024, hashtag MAGA, hashtag In God We Trust. I just can't believe it, dude. I'm sorry. I mean it anyway.
I honestly can't believe it either, because again, I came in here with a different mentality, and I find myself perplexed that I'm leaving with a different mentality, because I mean there's a lot of things I didn't know.
I'm glad. That's great.
I mean I can see where you say it's great, but for me it's definitely confusing, because there's a lot of information I didn't know, and I wasn't getting information from the other side. I don't get, my For You feed is pretty much Republican, I guess you could say, if you want to look at it one way. I don't really investigate the truth if I don't hear both sides out. And that's why I've decided that maybe I need to do that, like, maybe I need to not be
voting in,
maybe
by
I
the
not
way.
need to I need to stop just joining the flow of people around me and just, do some research myself.
What state are you voting in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. So here's what you're gonna do. That's a really important state. You definitely gotta. Your vote matters a hell of a lot more than mine. I live in New York, so. So in Pennsylvania, I would very much ask that you do your research, and like whether that be. Oh no! The live just got. Oh my god! It just got restricted.
For what?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't. Oh god. So your live, your vote matters very much in Pennsylvania. So definitely do your research. This election is very important. Your vote matters a lot. Your state could be the tipping point. So think about it. Definitely do research, and I hope you vote.
No, and I got to say, I definitely will, and I can attribute that to you and Parker. I really enjoyed what you said when you first came on with the way that you can step back and look at both parties like you do. Like you can look at Joe Biden and his decisions that you agree with and don't agree with, and all around. Because I've spent too much time focusing on just I'm supposed to like Donald Trump, I'm supposed to hate Joe Biden, and maybe I just need to look and really evaluate as a whole what both candidates have done, and really evaluate everything as a whole and be able to be non-biased and not just join the crowd of people around me, I guess you could say. I don't know if you understand how I'm trying to word that, like.
I post content you can go check out on a regular basis. I post every day. And Harry. So,
I would definitely recommend not only my live, but like Parker's live. Tommy and Jaden, they do fantastic lives. Like you watch Tommy's videos as well. Like there's plenty of really fantastic people on the app. Like if you're like more of like a visual learner, you like the videos. I highly recommend these folks. But it's good. I'm glad you're like interested in doing more research. That's great. Like a lot of people don't, which is super concerning. That's why I think like a lot of us do these lives. So it's good.
And that's one of the things that appalled me about a lot of the people you've had on here tonight with being Trump supporters is they came in here with a closed mind and they just wanted to argue. Where at first I was going to come in that way, but then the more I listened to you and the more I waited, the more I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to just start looking into these things because there's a lot I don't know, and maybe I am wrong. I'm not afraid to admit I am wrong if I am wrong.
Well, hey, man, I like that. I'm glad to hear that. So, yeah, I don't have anything else unless anybody else does.
I don't know. Just watch us, follow us.
I definitely followed Harry a little while ago.
Reputable content on the daily.
Jump over and follow you, Parker, and you as well, Jaden. I mean, it's only one way to
follow these guys.
To do my investigation, man. Like,
okay,
yeah, definitely follow Parker, definitely follow Jaden, and definitely follow Tommy. I recommend
all right, yeah, definitely will, man.
All right, man. Sounds good. Well, hey, I appreciate the conversation, and we'll probably talk before the election.
Yeah, guys.
All right, man.
All right,
thanks,
take care.
Okay, damn, I'm mad the live got restricted. It's like age restricted now.
Yeah, I had a live yesterday, like for the first time on an age restriction actually go up in viewers. So yeah, and then I went up and I gained like almost like 800 viewers. So
that's wow.
It was
that's
really weird
strange.
on an age restriction.
it does go away if you reset, but I don't know if you want to do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the time. Sometimes it will go to less people though, because we had like a lot of push on the stream already. Because I was like live and got banned.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, Bree, thank you for the $10 saying Hair Bear is quite endearing. I think we should embrace it.
Harrison, thank you for the $1. Thank you.
I have to beg for debates on a nightly basis, and you have 80 people requesting. I showed up because I got sent a picture of 100 people in the box. They couldn't even join.
Oh, man.
Actually crazy. People want to debate the DNC show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
they want to debate the DNC
these DNC
show.
paid, so they have to
I'm
debate
paid.
them.
I will admit it. I'm actually paid by the DNC. Wink, wink. I am a shill. Come debate.
Bubba.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
Hello,
How you guys
Matt.
doing? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing all right. And yourself?
We're good.
That's good. That's good. So there's a lot of you guys here. So who am I going to be talking to?
Who would you like to?
Yeah, you pick.
I'm going to target out Harry here for a second, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Have at it.
How you guys doing? I'm Bubba. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Canada, but I used to work in the States. It's not
So
much
you're not
better.
voting?
Pardon?
So you're not going to be voting in the United States?
I don't know. I'm a citizen, right? But I don't know, because to be honest, I kind of stepped away from all the politics. But I do have some questions for you. So Harry, like besides promoting like political viewpoints and talking about your beliefs when it comes to politics, like if you don't mind me asking this, like what do you do for work exactly? Like what is your way of like generating income, if that's not a personal question?
Yeah, this is like the way I like social media stuff is the way I do it. But I'm also like a full-time student, so
Okay, right on.
I go to school and stuff.
Right on.
Hugo, thank you for the $50 on Cash App.
Do you say most of your
Goddamn, Venmo Cash App in the bio.
Hugo in the comment section.
W
Thank you
Hugo.
so much, Hugo.
Oh,
say
thank
most
you,
of your
Hugo, as
day-
well. W Hugo as well for the
Yeah,
$50. Saying W this panel. Yo, W Hugo in the chat for both $50 towards me and Parker. That's crazy. W Hugo, bro. Appreciate you so much. You're the GOAT, bud. Appreciate it.
Hugo, appreciate it.
So, Harry, sorry. So you'd say most of your day is on the phone, consuming content and whatnot, right? So the point I'm trying to get at here is like, I'm an investor, right? I do oil and gold. Like I invest in certain stocks. My uncle and my best friend and a lot of the people in our general group, they're truckers, right? They go to the States multiple times a month, right? And just from the first hand, just from like my social circle, what I understand is that when Trump was in office, you know, just from the trucking industry alone, it's going to be a vague statement, but you'll get where I'm coming from. You know, business was booming, right? That's the best way to put it. Like these guys, every fucking month they were going out, you know, like there was too much work to keep up with, right? Same with the oil, with the gold, like everything was really good. I had a really good gold stock that did fucking amazing. Like it just seemed as if like when Trump was in the office, he did a lot much better for the country, you know? And he ran the country like a business, you know, and inevitably it actually did benefit the people more. Like look at the gas prices, look at the house prices, look at the food prices, look at all this kind of stuff, right? Like you guys are holding him accountable for, I guess you could say his personal actions, you know, what he does in his free time. To be honest, I don't really give a fuck, right? It's just at the end of the day.
What did Biden do that caused prices to go up?
Yeah, so I was going to say something like that. Like
inflation.
Donald Trump didn't have anything to do.
Bro. So the same thing here is happening here in Canada.
Trump printed more.
The same thing here is happening here in Canada. What's happening is Justin
I
Trudeau.
know it's happening in Europe too, and Asia.
It's happening all over the
everywhere.
world.
No, 100%.
BUBA is the type of Canadian to have a MAGA hat and like a MAGA flag.
Okay,
and
that's
like
great.
to make Trump his whole
Listen,
personality
what I'm
living in
trying to-
Canada.
I'm not trying to personally attack anyone.
Your inflation's actually worse than ours.
I'd appreciate common respect. Listen. It's the same thing here in Canada. Trump's letting in all these immigrants, there's nothing wrong with immigrants. Immigrants built the
Oh,
country.
he is?
Immigrants built the country. That's fine. But when you have too many people are buying houses. Too many people are paying for groceries. You can't keep up with it, bro. That's why
Yeah.
the
So
price
what we're
goes up.
saying to you is that Joe Biden is not responsible for the increase in grocery prices,
Yes,
the
he
increase
is.
in gas prices, because it's happening literally all over the world. You
And
just said
what's
it's
the
happening in
what's
Canada,
the common
right?
denominator? Influx and like a
Oh, this is about to
Apparently
get
Joe
super
Biden
racist. This is about to get super like
Okay,
World
but
War
how
II
is this-
Germany.
This is the problem with you guys,
It's
right?
about to
I'm
get
trying to have a
super World War II
conversation,
Germany here.
and you guys go, oh, "Okay, it's racist."
Yeah, but you're saying that the common denominator is immigrants, right?
No,
is that what
it's
you're
not
saying?
immigrants. It's too many people. It's an overflow of immigrants. Too much of anything is bad, Harry. Too much of anything is bad. If you
So
drink too
you're
much
saying it's
water-
immigrants?
if you
Wait,
drink
but
too much-
inflation was going up prior to the influx of
Listen,
migrants in this
Jaden, if
country.
you drink too much water right now, you'll die on the spot.
You're
Too much
just gonna
water-
ignore that?
Hey, Bubba, can you give? I don't want to call you that. I'm going to call you B. Can you listen a second? So we have global inflation that's caused by having to react monetarily to a potential disastrous economic collapse, and virtually every government on the planet raised interest rates to try and slow the economy down, and they knew that inflation would be a consequence of it. Okay, and it's not the only reason; it is one of the reasons, but there is global inflation going on across the world. And we're ranked 141 in terms of high inflation. So we're way down on the low in America. Same thing with Canada, way down on the list. Gas prices, again, way down on the list. The reality is if we start rejecting immigrants, the immigrant surge that we have now in the United States is going to save us $1.2 trillion in the deficit over the next 10 years.
Wait, can you explain that more? Because how does that logically make sense? Let's say, don't get me wrong, this isn't
Don't have
racist. I just want to clarify something quick. Sorry to interrupt you. But I'm not racist. Too much of anything is bad. It doesn't matter what color or skin. I don't give a shit, you know? I'm in a mix.
No, I'm not. What I said that is that like we've seen leaders in history who I can't say on TikTok live make this like very same argument targeting groups of people being like, oh, all of our problems are because these people are coming in, like too many of them are here.
Yeah, that's a different argument completely.
Well, I'm just saying, like when you said it originally, I'm like,
No.
this
What I'm
is about to
saying
get
is
really
too much of
bad.
anything is bad. You breathe too much fucking air, you die.
No,
You
hold
drink
on,
too much
hold
water,
on.
you die. You know?
Hold on. We haven't reached too much as bad, right? Right now, we have in the United States, we have a ton of immigrants coming in. And if we didn't have a ton of immigrants coming in, we would suffer when we would go to the store to even a greater degree because 80% of the food that is cultivated in this country is done by foreign-born workers. And we're already on a shortage of workers as is. So you can imagine ejecting tens of millions of people or 10 million people out of the country, what that would do to our markets. It would be disastrous. Migrants are helping us. They're lowering the deficit. They are, and there's a discussion to be had about.
Tommy, what do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking? Because, you know, I have people directly that I know and I talk to on a daily basis that are on the front lines of the workforce that move this country, that move both our countries, honestly. They move this world, the truckers, the people, the tradesmen, the people on the front lines who are actually building this country up, building the economy, who are actually there putting in the work. So, Tommy, what do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking that?
Okay, so previously I worked construction for about a decade. I have family that are truck drivers. I literally did my internship through one of the joint councils of the Teamsters. So I know I have family and friends that are still business agents and reps for truckers. So I know this well. I'm a content creator now, but this is what I previously did.
Okay. All right, yeah. That's like, what did you do in construction, for example? You know, like, were you like a grunt worker? Like, were you building sky rises?
I literally dug holes and then I went on to work an excavator.
Okay, right on. But yeah, my point is though, is like, you know, like it's really difficult because there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Like you go on your TikTok and let's just say you have no like political knowledge, you could turn someone to a liberal or a Republican within the matter of 10 seconds just by what they see off their TikTok, you know? It's very hard to get genuine, like hard, solid facts. There's so much propaganda on both sides, right? So you like it's really hard, you know, like when you guys are content creators and you have an interest in like the liberal government, that's all you're gonna see on your phone, right? I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I just disagree with your point completely. Like everything you guys been saying.
Wait, you're just saying that we're biased. Well, we're looking at facts. Tell us what specifically was biased. And Roy, thank you for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate it.
Okay, whoever the fuck.
Yo, wait, hold on. Before you do that, W Edie on Venmo for $100. Yo, W Edie in the chat. I need at least 100 W Edie saying because you rock. I appreciate you so much. Edie. Thank you. You're amazing. I love you. You're always amazing.
Oh, you're mad. You're mad. They're gonna
they can afford to do
you're
it.
Mad.
All the power to you, man. Parker.
Is he angry? Is he raging right now? What is he raging about?
No.
Yo, W Edie, don't listen to that guy. W Edie, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. You're amazing, and I always appreciate your support. Shout out Edie. Golly.
So Parker, you were saying something. Sorry, before you got a donation or whatnot. What were you saying?
I kind of forgot what the point was.
He was saying like you were asking him what we said that was biased, like we were based on facts.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. You guys are just stating facts that you read, right? Like when come at it from this point of view. You guys go
facts that we read are not biased. What are you talking about?
But how can you confirm that's a fact, right? Like let's say that
what specifically? Like Trump being held liable for sexual
to,
abuse, the literal lawsuit with jurors, the evidence provided in the case.
Yeah, do you know what a primary, secondary, and tertiary source is?
I have no fucking idea.
So primary would be the originating source. When it comes to the verdict against Donald Trump, we can look at court dockets. We can look at what's on the record, what is on legal websites and provided by legal analysis. That's where we could find that. Right. That would be the direct source.
100%. I see where you're going with this. But we have to come from a standpoint and let's say, okay, let's question the government for a second, right? Because it's hard to believe everything you see. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. So if we question the government for a second and come at it at an angle where it's like, you know, let's say these people are lying to you. How can, if there's a possibility of it, how can you confirm that exactly everything you're reading is true? You know, that's the point you have to come at it from. So you have to make your decisions for yourself.
That's why
right?
I said primary source. What you're reading would be a secondary source. When it comes to the news, that's just reporting on what happened. But if something is questionable, I'd have to see, okay, where did a certain person make this statement? When was it made? What's the context in which they made it? And are there people who are in their inner circle that can verify it?
Okay, but it is like, see, now we're kind of just butting heads here. We're kind of gonna go back and forth in the same.
You're not.
How can you confirm that yourself? Let's say that you can't trust anyone, right? And just based off your logical standpoint, how can you confirm that? The answer is you can't, right? In this world,
if I didn't trust anyone to begin with, then yeah, I wouldn't be able to confirm anything. But I'm offering my own self a sense of due diligence in saying, okay, if someone who disagrees with me is saying the same thing as someone who is agreeing with me, then it's more likely than not going to be a true statement.
I guess so. I guess you're right when you say it like that, like 100%, sure. But you know, in a crazy world where a click of a phone can influence your mind, You know, you can't. It's really hard to believe anything, right? Like you guys are out here pushing. I'm not going to call it propaganda, but like this liberal standpoint. You know,
Well, that's the thing. I don't just believe in anything.
Okay, so
yeah, it is hard to believe in anything
let
because
me
I don't
understand
believe
you
in
better.
anything.
Let me explain why you stand for this party. Like, let me understand you better. That way, I know what I'm talking about, right? Because I haven't heard you talk much. So, why do you support the liberal government? Why do you think that they are beneficiary to the United States people?
Overall, it's about harm reduction in this race, and who is going to be doing the most deal of long-term damage for marginalized communities in this country. Who is going to lead this country through economic progress, and who is going to lead us to ultimately what is to be seen as fascism or modern-day neo-fascism. And right now, that would be the liberal Democrats. As unfortunate as that may sound, I would prefer someone more to the left of them. But where we are right now is about who can do the less deal of harm across the country. And over and above, it's very apparent that the Republicans have no clear set domestic or foreign agenda that benefits the American people in a meaningful way.
That's a very biased statement. You know, if we're gonna be on like a completely,
I can go through policy.
if we're gonna be on a completely like equal playing field here, each party has like, you know, their own pros and cons, right? You can't completely say the
Yeah, that's why I said harm reduction. I never said that they were perfect. It's who can do the less deal of harm for the
Okay, so
country.
elaborate on that. So, like, in what
Yeah,
sense?
rollbacks on environmental policy, rollbacks on gay rights and transgender rights in this country,
How does that
rollbacks
benefit
on
the
women's
American
rights.
people? No, hey, I'm gonna say this.
Antoinette,
straight
thank you
out.
for the $10.
I have nothing against nobody. I'm not here to promote hate speech. I'm not saying anything bad. But how does trans rights and gay rights benefit the American people? How does that benefit them?
Because they're human beings.
Sure, they're
There are
human
people
beings,
who are
but
trans and gay that are American. What?
but
Yeah, Melinda,
Because
thank you
their
for the
rights
$20
should
as well. I
because they should
appreciate
not be denied fewer rights. Thank you for the bits,
No,
everyone. They
no.
should not be denied fewer rights than people
Okay.
who are not gay or trans.
okay, sure, I can agree with that. But there's a thin line, right? This is where it gets kind of sketchy because now you have full-grown men.
No, it's not. What?
You have full-grown men going into women's changing rooms, kids' changing
No,
rooms.
you don't.
Yes, you do. And yes, you
Right,
do.
those are called conservatives.
Wait, you mean
we have
Donald
our
Trump?
trans women.
You mean Donald Trump? Like
Yeah, you're talking
literally
about
him
Trump?
going on Sirius XM
Well,
saying that it was
listen,
okay for him to
there's
walk
been
into
many-
changing
there's
rooms
been
of little
many cases-
girls?
There's been many
Raul,
cases.
thank you for the
even with an
$5 as well.
Olympic
Appreciate
swimming
you. And
team-
Hillary, thank you for the $5.
An Olympic swimming team where a full-grown man transitioned to a woman.
It wasn't a full-grown man. It was a trans woman. And guess what? She remains 9 seconds behind Katie Ledecky. She wasn't slashing records. She lost the very next match
no,
and
it
then
wasn't
fucking
about that.
retired.
It wasn't
You
about
guys only
that,
know
brother.
one person. Yeah, it's
I
only
let you
one
guys
person because
finish.
it's
I'm trying
Leah
to finish my
Thomas.
point. That's all
This is
I'm
the
asking.
thing. The problem is you guys, the right in this country has created an extensive caricature of what actually goes on
I'm
within
not
trans
right or
spheres.
left. I told you I don't.
Okay,
vote
but you're
that. I don't vote.
regurgitating right-wing talking
But I
points, so
didn't
I
get
think
to
it's
finish
fair.
my point.
I think it is fair to
But how
say
do
that
you
the
know what I
right
was
in
gonna
this
say if I
country
didn't
is
finish
saying
my
the
point,
same thing
brother?
you
I
would.
didn't finish my point though. How do you know what I was going to say? I didn't finish my point. I let you finish.
Because
you,
it's
Roy,
the
for the-
same talking point. Who else would you be referring to
But
other
how do
than
you
Leah
know what I'm
Thomas?
going to say if I don't?
Then tell
Thank
me
you,
who
Roy,
it
for the
is.
20 Thank you, Roy, for the $20 on
Listen,
Cash App. I
my
appreciate
point
it.
is not about whether they beat the record or dominated women. I don't care about that, to be honest. It's the fact that you have 14-year-old girls changing with a biological male. That's what I disagree.
You don't.
Okay, well, you do, brother. You do.
They don't.
Well, you do.
They allot
brother.
trans people separate spaces to change privately in
So-
many of these cases.
Let's talk about, since we're on trans rights, let's talk about at what age.
Well, I have a question. Why do you want little kids changing in front of anyone? Like when you were like in the like changing after swimming, like do
You
you
just
want to
proved
see
my
the other
point,
kid's
brother.
ass?
No,
do you want to
you
do you want to
just-
see that random boy's
No,
ass?
but-
Like that's fucking
no.
gross, dude. I
Yeah,
don't want to see anyone's
Thank you,
ass.
Jack Weber's
I would
Parker,
like private
Parker.
changing rooms.
Parker, what
I
the
don't care if you're
Parker,
male. I
what
don't care
the
if you're
fuck are
female.
you talking
I don't want
about?
to see any person's ass.
Parker, what the fuck are you
Yeah,
talking
and
about?
I just want to point out as like someone that has a kid and takes him swimming, like walking in and seeing grown man naked, like bro.
Okay, but that just proves my point, though. You just proved
No.
my point. But you just proved my point.
But it doesn't matter if they're the same sex or gender. We still think it's weird. Like we want personalized space to change regardless of the situation.
Well, I think their age really does.
Please
matter.
don't show me your ass. That's all I'm asking for here.
Okay. So since we're on trans rights, Jaden, let's go to this. At what age do you think it's appropriate for a human being to decide that they need to change their gender and take the medication and the sometimes even surgeries and whatnot? So at
So
what
first
age-
of all, yeah, it's not sometimes surgery. Surgeries are actually rarer than people make it out to be. But it's not something that is to my determination. That would be something that should remain between the parents, the doctors, and the patient.
So you don't think there should be like a set age of when they should do that?
No, I think the guidelines for people who are trans and how best to transition them should be applicable at any age.
So you can't drink until in Canada it's 18, United States is 21. You can't drive.
Yeah, those things are not
Yeah.
okay.
Well, the live just got flagged for hateful behaviors. We're rocking on our last legs here.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Anyways,
Okay.
I'll just finish the point. Doing things like smoking or buying a gun or getting a license or drinking aren't for one's personal health benefit. Transitioning is and saves lives.
I've been noticing I've been getting flagged, and then nothing happens after that.
Me too.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe we'll do like one more. Like one more?
Sure.
All right, Mago. Let us know in the chat if you are. We'll bring you up. Seth, my man. Come up, Seth. Come up, bud. Come on.
How's it going, guys?
All right, man.
Hey.
So, my thing is, one, you guys talk about the pushing of the vaccine. And about this the whole, like, pushing of everyone getting vaccinated, correct?
That's my jam.
Not really.
Because my biggest thing on the Democratic Party on that side of it is always saying, oh, we need to push the vaccine and everyone should get vaccinated for COVID-19.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
So that goes contradiction of my body, my choice, correct?
It really doesn't, because you not being vaccinated affects people around you, whereas you getting an abortion doesn't.
But it's my body, my choice. It would be the same scenario, same everything. If someone is having a child with someone else that they've decided,
It's not the same everything. It's the
And
same
then-
reason as to why you can't smoke in an enclosed
Getting
area.
vaccinated, forcing people to get vaccinated shall not be infringed.
it
shouldn't be infringed. We couldn't infringe it. That's what you're doing.
But I mean, if you're having a child with someone and then they choose to go and have an abortion without the other person's,
That doesn't
No,
affect their
that's not-
autonomy. You and passing COVID along to other people does affect their autonomy.
but it would be
No one consented to getting COVID. No one consented to getting long COVID. No one consented to dying of COVID.
No, but I mean, no one consents to their other partner then choosing to get an abortion.
Make the correlation, because
Because
nothing here
when
is
everyone
bridging.
is saying, "Oh, it's a woman's choice," if it's
Okay, but a pregnancy and an abortion is not a contagious factor. You getting COVID can kill millions, potentially.
But the thing is, it's going back and forth of my body, my choice.
It's not.
my body,
I made the
my
line of
choice.
severance here. One affects other people, the other doesn't. It's the same. Are you for laws against smoking indoors?
I mean, the smoking, no matter what, is an issue. No matter what, where
That's
you're
not the question.
Because
Are
the
you for
vaping-
laws that forbid smoking indoors?
Yes,
Why?
because it goes back to my body, my choice. If I'm going to go into
No. Are you for the laws that say you cannot smoke indoors, or are you against those laws?
But it's my body, my choice if I want to smoke indoors, right?
So it'd be everyone vapes these damn pins everywhere.
Just answer the goddamn question.
Is it
I don't
because
know
it
how
hurts other
much
people?
more I need to simplify this.
Is it because it hurts other people?
Are you in favor of businesses and laws that say that you cannot smoke in an enclosed area?
I really honestly don't care about those because that's not really
Just a yes or no.
So it should be legal. So it
should be legal. So there should
Because
not be laws against
one-
people smoking in hospitals, in airplanes, in schools.
And how many people actually listen to that? Because everyone's hitting the stupid vape pens everywhere. And
Wait, so you think people should be able to smoke on planes?
everyone's hitting the stupid vape pens anywhere.
You
I'm
think
saying
someone
it
should
should
be
be
able to smoke a
legal. Is
cigarette
the
on a plane?
question. It's not about who follows the laws or not. Should this be
But
law?
I'm saying is, you guys, when you're saying that and people are in the buildings hitting vape pens, whatever, that is their choice to do so. No one is forcing them.
We understand breaking the law is a choice, but should we actively incentivize people not to do these things through legal repercussions?
Honestly, there's no one is following any of those type of laws because no matter what, because
Bro, are you a
California
triangle?
passed.
Because fuck, you're obtuse. Jesus Christ. Just answer the question. Are you in favor of laws that do this or not?
I don't really care because it doesn't.
That's
change.
not the question.
But that
Should
is-
these laws exist?
It is it is an answer because it doesn't matter.
It's
because
not. So you want these laws to not exist because you don't care.
I don't care because no one follows anything anymore.
Yet you want anti-abortion laws. What the fuck?
No, it's no one should be able to go in and say anything about this. It's
So
not.
why should we have anti-abortion laws if nobody's going to follow it?
No one's following it anyways because you could go and you go states away and go have an abortion.
Okay, so we should not have any restrictions on abortion then.
There shouldn't be no state should have a restriction, and no one should be trying to push any type of agenda about that because it should be based on if there should be a case of abortion should be based on one if it was a critical situation like rape or some type of scenario of harmful for the mother's body if the child's, but when it's not at harm of the mother, then there should be no one saying that you can go through the pregnancy.
Okay, but there shouldn't be any law. I get you feel that in principle, but overall you wouldn't infringe upon that right to get an
Because
abortion.
then why does the father not get a choice? That's just like how many states are mother states, but
it's not relevant.
But then the father has no choice
because it's not his body.
But they both laid into the room together.
Okay, and one carries to term
Created
for
it.
9 months.
But they both consented to lay in it. They made
No,
that
one
action
person
together.
consents to carry to term.
But when you're going to go lay in bed with someone, you know.
Right, consent to pregnancy is not consent. Excuse me, consent to sex is not consent to pregnancy.
Well, you know what the risk is when you're going into that.
Right, you know the risk of getting lung cancer if there's no laws that forbid smoking indoors. Are you saying
Everyone
that
knows
people
the
who
risk,
contract lung
so
cancer
that's
because of
wrong.
other people's misdeeds should be punished for that?
Everyone knows the risk, no matter what. So that's what I'm saying is, if you know the risk of what you're doing in that action, why would it?
Your
be
argument is
all on
going in
one
3 different
person?
directions at this point. I don't
But
know
that's
if you
the thing
realize
is-
that.
No, I
Maybe you
do,
do,
because-
and you're just
because I do.
arguing it because.
Because one, you guys, everyone's like, oh well, it should just be the mother's choice. It shouldn't be.
But your argument is this should not be questioned because it doesn't affect people when it comes to smoking, and people are going to break the laws anyways, and yet you feel the need to put forth this moral incentive as to not encourage abortion in this case.
So it would be the same way of like vaccines, smoking. It's should be everyone else's choice, and if with having an abortion should be both parties should be present unless it's a rape, which a rape kit should be.
Now watch the language, man.
Okay. A kit should be provided to factor that in. So you would know those steps to be able to prevent and go that route. There should be rules and regulations on how they go about that versus just giving a pill out to everyone. For
That's not what happens.
there is many women that use and abuse that.
No, there's not.
There is.
Most abortions are single time
No, they're
occurrences,
not.
and people don't look forward to getting an abortion.
There's not just many. There's not just one.
Yes, most abortions occur one time.
There's not. I know many people that have done it countless of times.
That doesn't speak for the majority of people who receive abortions do so one time only.
So it's a countless thing, but there should be.
But what the fuck is your argument anyways? Is it abortion? Is it smoking? Is it vaccines? Because neither position that you've held on all three
It's just
has been
all that
consistent across
whole-
the board.
It's just the
You keep
whole-
saying my body, my choice, but also women shouldn't have the choice. So which one is
No,
it?
it should. When a woman should have choice, but it should be if it's a scenario where it's actually wasn't her choice to be pregnated.
So she can only have the choice when it wasn't her choice. So why does she somehow lose that choice when it was her perhaps choice to get pregnant to begin with?
When she chose to do the action, and
Yeah. Why does she lose that choice afterwards?
why would she be the only one affected by it? Why wouldn't a father be affected by it?
How is he affected?
How
His
would he not
autonomy is
be?
not at stake.
How would he not be affected by it? Losing a child?
Because his autonomy is not at stake, and he's not losing a child.
That's yeah, he would be. That's losing a
No,
child.
he
Have
wouldn't
you had a
be.
child ripped away from you?
No.
Exactly. So you wouldn't know how it feels to have a child ripped from you.
Have you?
Yeah.
This isn't
Yeah,
a child
I have-
ripped
I
from
have
you. This is a
child
pregnancy
ripped- I
being
have-
terminated.
That's a child being ripped
You
away
wouldn't
from
say
you.
that a cake being taken out of the oven 5 minutes in is ruining the cake.
That's having a child ripped away from you. When you have
That's not a child.
When you know that person you've laid with and is now pregnant, and and you're preparing yourself mentally that you're having a kid, and then they go out and have an abortion without you having any type of say in it. Yeah, that's having you're having a child ripped from you.
Why should you have a say in that?
Why would you not? When you guys
Just
both
answer the question.
made
It's
the-
not your body.
Why would it not have?
You're
a
not at risk.
Why would you not have a say in that when you're?
Because I don't see why people's short-term feelings about something should outweigh a person's
It's actually
autonomy.
not a short-term feeling. And
I
can
would say that, yeah,
firsthand.
I would say that's a
firsthand.
short-term feeling because you don't have an attachment or a real connection or any kind of relationship with a whatever month-old fetus.
It's not a short-term feeling to know that you were going to be a father and then a child being ripped away in that
You
opportunity.
can still be
It
a
is.
father, but that shouldn't
but-
supersede other people's autonomy. And why you think your feelings and entitlements into fatherhood should trump someone's ability to remain pregnant? Stop interrupting me. Why you think anyone's feelings of fatherhood should trump another person's autonomy is beyond me, and you've yet to answer that.
It would be a consent. Should be consented between both parties. If it is
Consent to
Yeah.
sex is not consent to pregnancy.
it should be consent by both parties when it was consented to be made.
Your
Right, and
solution
consent
is
can be
to-
revoked.
So yeah, your solution to this is to force women to.
So when you're saying your feelings don't matter, but now we have lawsuits now that's happening because my feelings got hurt by the liberal side of things.
Isn't that why you're saying abortion is wrong?
But
Can you hear
what
me?
I'm saying is
Yeah.
the fact that when two parties have created the child and consented to that, and when one is preparing for a child in their life, and then that gets ripped away.
Okay, so then by that means then because a woman doesn't want to have a kid, she can force a vasectomy on her partner.
So if a woman didn't never wanted to have kids, or at that time, why didn't she
Right,
just
but she-
prevent
but she-
herself from being able to get pregnant?
Right, so she could force him to get a vasectomy then.
Well, no, not just forcing
Well, if
the.
you could, because
No.
your solution right now is to force her to give birth. So shouldn't be the solution if she doesn't want to have any kids is to force a vasectomy?
Why would it be just on the male if the male is the one that's wanting that?
Why is this on the woman?
It's just on the
So
woman.
why didn't
Wait a minute, what?
why wouldn't the woman?
It's like you got the point. That's weird.
Why wouldn't the women have the safety protocols to prevent herself from having pregnancies?
Guess what?
until
Because
she's
in
ready?
51% of these instances, they do take these protocols and they fail.
There's the IUD. There's
Wait, Seth, I have a question. Do you think women who have IUDs are murderers?
when they have an IUD, they're preventing them. They're doing the steps for safety. For
Not
them.
only can it prevent fertilization, but it can also prevent implantation, which means it ends the fertilized egg
for a certain period
their
of time.
life, right? Because it prevents them from implanting into the uterine wall, which would begin pregnancy. So if you think that life begins at conception, well, I believe life begins at conception. You think that's when personhood begins, that's when the value begins, well, then you think it's murder that women have IUDs.
So no,
And they should
no,
go to
that's
prison,
not-
right?
That is not what I believe. I believe is she took the.
So when is it valuable?
Call to prevent herself from getting pregnant by taking by.
Yes,
having
but like
an
when is it?
IUD.
When is the when is it valuable? When is it a person?
It's when these women are out there and not having any type of prevention.
No. When is the fetus or zygote valuable? At what stage?
As when the first heartbeat.
Why heartbeat?
Which is what?
Why a heartbeat? Like for
The
example,
heartbeat is.
should someone be able to pull the plug on an individual in their family who's brain dead?
if they have a D&D, which
They
they,
have a heart.
sign.
No, they don't have a D&D.
So then, no, you don't prevent that.
Oh,
Because
so
it's-
you think a family should be obligated to take care of an individual who's brain dead who's never going to come back?
if there's not a D&D,
What purpose would that serve?
Yeah, they're literally dead. They're brain dead. They're never coming back. They still have a heartbeat, but they're never coming back.
because, well, I mean, it would be coming on.
And it's not a DND, it's a
Yeah,
DNR. That is right.
it's
You do
DNR,
not
whatever.
resuscitate.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry,
It's
you
also-
literally.
No,
You said
knew
Dead
what
by
I was talking
Daylight.
about. You know what I was
Dead
talking about. It's also 2 a.m. for me, so I'm whatever. But I'm not tripping on the time, and that's not an excuse for
Dungeons and
language.
Dragons.
What? Yeah, but that's not the point of it. What you know what I was trying to say by the terminology for do not resuscitate, but if they've signed to one, that's their willing, their choice, that person's choice. But what I'm saying, when a woman does the precautionaries of it, then that is her choice of doing so. But when a woman doesn't, then she shouldn't be able to just say, "Hey, wake up," and then
I already told you, in 51% of abortion cases, failed contraception is the cause. So you're saying that she does not have that right, even with regard for the fact that she took contraception.
I personally have never seen it being failed based off of her doing actual safety.
It doesn't matter if you've personally seen it. This is 51% of abortion cases.
Because most of everything I've ever heard or seen has been of people that don't do the steps of preventing childbirth or preventing to get pregnant. Because it's always the women that just don't do the steps from having an IUD.
The step is the guy. I don't know why somehow he's exempt from getting a vasectomy.
No, it would be
using
it's the same with
viable contraception.
But I mean,
there's also
a female-
stealthers.
It's a male doing his due diligence also, but it's, if both parties have not done those due diligence to prevent it, then it shouldn't just be open case of open for everyone just to be able to. There should be a panel of, did you prevent it? Are you on?
No, there should not. No, there should not. Because who's going to arbit that? Who's going to make the determination that this person is telling the truth? I think that creates a greater deal of judicial backlog that is unnecessary as is. And ultimately is going to make people have to wait longer for life-saving abortions that they could have gotten without this extra step.
But it's just because it shouldn't be open to just have at all times. It shouldn't, because there's no accountability
But
on
my body, my choice, right? Is that not your fucking stance across this whole argument?
So that's what I'm saying is
So you don't believe in my body, my choice then?
I do, but
you
that's
don't
what-
because
what
you're
I'm
holding
saying
this
is-
reservation for abortion.
No, it's the abortion shouldn't just be open for.
Okay, then
the way it should
spreading
be-
COVID shouldn't just be open for the way.
That's why it's my body, my choice. So certain people get
That
it.
make that makes sense. It doesn't make
people
sense.
get-
You're saying
some
this
people
should
get the
not be the
vaccine, some
case, but
people
it
don't.
should be the case when it comes to killing more people.
So some people get the vaccine because they choose that is what they feel like is to prevent.
And some people
safety.
get long haulers.
Some people don't.
18
'Cause
million people to be exact.
I mean, I
Probably
didn't get
more,
the vaccine, and I didn't never got COVID once the whole entire time. I still
Great,
have.
you're an anecdote.
So, but I'm saying is everyone's choice. That was my choice. What I felt like was safe for myself, and for others to do so for themselves. So it'd be. It
Okay,
shouldn't-
but the
it
people
shouldn't
who
be
don't have a choice in the
available,
matter are those
but
who.
it shouldn't just be given
Okay,
for
but the
everyone.
people who don't have a choice in this matter are those with immunocompromised conditions and otherwise either can't get vaccinated or can't be at risk of people like you going about freely and saying, "Oh, I don't give a shit."
Well, it's not I don't give a shit. It's just I'm
You do.
I'm
You're
not
not willing to
about-
take that extra precaution to protect the most vulnerable people in our country.
All right, I'm gonna get off for tonight.
Well, no, I'm just one of. I
It was
just
good
don't.
seeing you, Harry. It was good seeing everyone.
All right, man. No
No
problem.
matter-
Have a fantastic night, everyone. Peace out, y'all.
Being forced as a child to be
Jamie,
on,
thank you for the $5, and Brent, thank you for the $5 as well. Appreciate you. And
on
Tabari, thank you for the one.
medication. So me being a child that had no being as forced as a child on medicine that I did not want to be on, because after finally choosing to come off it, getting the side effects of that medicine, it should be my choice of not wanting to get on taking any type of medication into my body. So that's my choice, but it's what I'm saying on
All right, bro.
the whole scenario.
All right, we're wrapping it up here. I'm tired. I gotta go get some sleep.
Me too. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks,
All right,
guys. I
fair
appreciate you. Give Tommy and Jaden a follow before they depart. Thanks,
Yeah.
Seth, for the conversation.
All right,
And,
Harry, take care.
Likewise,
Good
brother.
night.
Appreciate you.
See.
Shout out all of them. I appreciate everybody being here. Sorry, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. Good live. We were live for 3 hours and 40 minutes. Not bad. And shout out to everybody who sent stuff on Venmo and Cash App and gifted. It really goes such a long way. I appreciate all of you so very much. I hope you know that. And yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow on all the platforms. I post on TikTok. Make sure to follow here. We do these lives all the time. I post on Twitter every single day. I post on Instagram, and I post on YouTube. I posted 3 YouTube videos today, so definitely go watch them. Link in bio to all those social media pages if that intrigues you. And finally, tomorrow's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday on the East Coast and for most of the United States. So I hope you have an amazing Friday tomorrow, end of the week. Make sure to sleep in if possible. Sleep in if possible. Enjoy yourself. Relax, be productive if you need to be, but do whatever you want to enjoy tomorrow or whatever you do enjoy tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your night and amazing day tomorrow, and we'll talk soon, okay? All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
I think you really need to stop suggesting that the people here only want to talk about one topic for any reason other than that's the topic that we chose to talk about tonight.
It's okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm not.
Because
That's.
Artemis talks about.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying.